who's back in town? It's the Moose, and they're in the playoff hunt. Yes, Minnesota, the Central Division cellar dwellers, have won 10 of their last 15 games to get within 5 points of the Houston Aeros. The last time these two teams got together, Minnesota won in a shootout on this goal by Dave Snuggerud. But the Aeros have won 4 of the other 5 meetings, keeping the Moose behind them in the standings. Tonight, the Aeros take another swing of the Moose right here on HSE. The Summit in Houston, Texas. Home Sports Entertainment and the Houston Aeros present IHL action. Tonight, the Houston Aeros host the Minnesota Moose. Well, a very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Summit. I'm Adam Gordon. Another Central Division battle. It's turn back the clock night as the Aeros turn back to the early 70s. But the Aeros taking on the Minnesota Moose, and you look at the Central Division standings. The Aeros number 4, the Moose number 5. The Aeros at 18, 17, and 4, 5 points rather up on the Minnesota Moose, 15, 18, and 5. And Russ Small, when you look at the Minnesota Moose, we've always talked about Stefan Moran being the one guy that hurts him, but he is playing outstanding right now.
Well, he's got a 14-game point-scoring streak going, Stefan Moran, and he's played very, very well against the Aeros. He's a playmaker. He can score, but he also sets up his teammates. They've got to watch out for Stefan Moran tonight.
He's been playing on a line with Dan Curry and with Dave Christian, and they played very well the last time these two teams played. For the Aeros, though, one guy that maybe needs to turn it back just to a few games has been Mark Freer.
And I think he will. Mark Freer with just 2 points in his last 9 games. That's not like him. In fact, he's given up his team lead in overall points to Scott Arneal. But he's a guy who has 6 goals against Minnesota this year and has 2 two-goal games against the Moose. I think Mark Freer will get it back together offensively tonight.
It's time for the Oshman's game plan, brought to you by Oshman Super Sports USA. Aeros had a little trouble in Milwaukee holding on to a lead.
Well, they did, but they came back and they won that game in a shootout. Get a lead here tonight against the Moose. The Moose playing very well. They've won 5 of their last 6, and then don't sit on it. They need more offense. Mark Freer and Mario Chitaroni have led this team against Minnesota this year. They need them to do more of that, and some other guys to help out too. And don't take Minnesota lightly. They've won 5 of their last 6. In the meanwhile, the Aeros have lost 5 of the last 6. Getting back to the standings you showed at the top, that's why they're as close as they are. Don't take them lightly tonight.
Up next, Russ Small chats with the head coach of the Houston Aeros, Terry Wiskowski, up on HSC. Houston Aeros hockey on HSC is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Flying the low-fare airline is just plain smart. By Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation, a new commitment to healthcare. Together. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. When you're thirsty, it's gotta be Gatorade. And by High-Low Auto Supply. For the lowest prices every day, what you need is High-Low.
Welcome back to the Summit. I'm Russ Small. The Aeros and the Minnesota Moose here tonight. With me, Aeros coach Terry Wiskowski. Coach, don't take these Moose lightly.
They've been playing very well, and it seems like every time we play them, they've got 1 or 2 new personnel in their lineup, and that's been a lot of difference. You seem like you got them down pat, and all of a sudden they bring 2 or 3 more guys in, and they'd have a different type of style of game, and it's very hard. You have to go out there and experience the game itself to adjust to their style. And they've won 5 of their last 6, and in part because of that, and in part because you slumped at the same time, they're right back in the race. They're right back in. There's no question. This division is just incredible. You lose a couple games, you find yourself in 4th spot and looking really down at Minnesota with 5 points, and if you win, you're up and tied for 2nd spot. So every game gets very crucial for us. And for your guys here at home ice, where they've lost 4 in a row, it's time to relax and get the job done. Well, that's exactly the word, relax. Just go out there and play relaxed hockey, and I think we could do a lot better scoring wise. Seems like we're so uptight that we get the opportunities and we just we tighten up for it. We miss the open nets or good goal scoring opportunity. Relax. Go out there and play relaxed hockey, and hopefully the goals will come naturally to us. Coach, good luck here tonight against the Minnesota Moose. Thanks, buddy. Aeros coach Terry Wiskowski. The Aeros and the Moose here at the Summit. I'm Russ Small. We'll be back.
Proudly we hailed twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Welcome back to the Summit, everybody. Adam Gordon along with Russ. Small turn back the clock tonight. Yes, look at that. Rob Dobson wearing the sweaters from the old 70s. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups first for the visiting Minnesota Moose. Starting up front for Minnesota at center, Stefan Moran. Left wing, Dan Curry. Right wing, Dave Christian. Defensively, Dave Hackstall and Larry Olam. And in goal, it'll be Tom Draper. A goals against average of 3.18 and a record of 11-6-1. He's been playing well as of late. Now for the starting lineups for the Houston Aeros. Up front will be the line of Mark Freer, Scott Arniel, Graham Townsend. Defensively, Kevin Grant, Rob Robinson. And in goal, it'll be Rob Dobson. 3.50 goals against average. 87.6 on the save percentage. Our referee tonight is Mike Lego, the linesman Frank Prestigiovanni, and Bob Williams. Mark Freer, who will be the team captain until Curtis Hunt returns, which could be as much as a month, as Hunt will go into surgery for the back. He'll act as captain as Freer centers the puck. We're underway. Puck controlled by the Aeros in Minnesota territory. Arniel can't advance it. Now Olam clears to center ice, and now Christian across the line. Here's a pass. Curry dropped it back. Christian can't find the handle. Now Freer out the center. Here is Freer. Hits the line with Townsend. Nice lead pass. A bit too far for Townsend, who lost an edge, crashed and burned in the corner. Took Olam with him, though. Now the puck in the far circle. It's taken by Hackstall. He can't clear it. Townsend fights for the loose puck, and the Moose come to center. Here is Stefan Moran. Drops it back, but Freer is there to intercept it. The Aeros trying to move it ahead. Here's a 2-on-1. Arniel with Townsend. Arniel in on goal. Right back. Townsend shooting. Oh, and he missed the net. He just cranked it wide. Now it is Kevin Grant along the near side, trying to jam it down in the corner. Hackstall in a battle with Scott Arniel. They go at it. It's fished out of there by Larry Olam from Minnesota. And now Dan Curry comes to center. A minute gone in the first period. No score. And now it is Hackborn across the line. Hackborn ready to go. And a backhander and Draper. He'll kick that out of there. Now the puck for Yo. Mike Yo can't find the handle. Is back at center. What a great start to the first period. Here's Hackborn. Centered. Yo. He doesn't go with a shot. Great save by Draper. He'll hold on. A tremendous first couple of shifts for the Houston Aeros. No score.
At both ends of the ice, Anna. They had some great chances on Draper. They also did some terrific back checking. Centering pass a moment ago to Mike Yo. Got the shot on Draper. And Draper's made a couple of saves, and there was the early chance for Graham Townsend, which was a terrific opportunity that he fired wide. Yo is stopped here. Townsend went a little wide. Hackborn was stopped a moment or two ago as he moves into the circle now on a backhander earlier. Great start. You're right.
Aeros win the draw. It'll come to center. Shagarodsky, who had a tremendous game against Milwaukee last Saturday in the shootout win. Here is Hackborn trying to center the puck. It'll come back to the line and out to center. Valamont rolls it into Minnesota territory. Osiki goes back. He's bumped by Hackborn. Puck now turned around by the Moose. Here come the Minnesota Moose. It is Stu Gavin now at center ice. Across the line with Michael Kravitz. Dropped it back for Osiki. Spins it along the board. Yo and Snuggerud in a battle to the right of Robbie Dobson. And Pellerin is there to turn it down the ice. 2 minutes gone in the first. No score. We'll get our first icing call as Osiki is back. No score. 2 minutes gone. I got to tell you, Russ, we were kind of contemplating, of course, everybody knowing that the NHL getting their settlement now with Kevin Dineen out of the lineup. What does that mean for the Aeros?
Well, he's a good player. I mean, you take a good player out of the lineup, and you're not quite as good unless somebody steps in and picks picks up the slack. A veteran, a terrific player on the ice and in the locker room. It just means other guys have to step up.
And also, I think a good sign is the other teams, the Denvers and the Atlantas and the Kansas Cities that might lose guys as the NHL moves along.
I think they're going to lose more players than a team like the Aeros, unaffiliated, are going to lose. I think ultimately, and Peter Dineen told this to me yesterday, he thinks ultimately most of the other top teams are going to lose many more players than the Aeros, who just lost Kevin Dineen, and it could help the Aeros.
Face off controlled by Houston. Here is Jakes. Dangerously comes out in front, but he'll one-handed pass. That's off skates, and now Robinson comes to center. Rolled it to Murray Eves, barreling down the left side. Dumped the puck in, cleared by Humanuk, and it's back at center ice for Jakes. Rolled it into Minnesota territory, where Draper will slow behind the net. No score in the hockey game, but I'll tell you what, the Aeros in their first two shifts had some quality chances. Now Minnesota trying to dump the puck in. Robinson back. He will turn it around away from the breaking Sean Williams. It'll go right back into Minnesota territory. They will say this is icing as Humanuk back to touch, and the faceoff comes back into Aeros territory.
You know, hockey, any sport really can be a game of streaks and how you feel. We saw Draper in the first couple of shifts of this night make a couple of terrific saves. Well, he's feeling it these days. He has won 5 in a row. It's his second 5-game winning streak of this season. So right now, he's in kind of a zone. The Aeros have to get him out of that zone and get him out of that net, put the puck in behind him. We're scoreless. 17:29 left in the first period. It's been mostly Aeros so far, but still scoreless.
Face off controlled by Houston. Here's Dave Tippett. He's out there with Chitaroni and Eves now. Now puck back in Minnesota territory. Kolstad back to touch. That is icing, and the face-off comes back into Aero territory. 17:19 to go in the first. No score.
And just as a follow-up point, when you're not in the zone, we talked about Mark Freer earlier, just 2 points in his last 9 games. Had been having such a terrific season, scoring goals, setting people up, has had great success against the Moose. Remember, there was a game earlier this year against Minnesota. He gets 2 goals, batting them both in out of the air. So when you're in a zone and things are going well, you get all the good bounces, and you take a swipe at a puck and you put it in the net. When you're in a bad zone and things are going poorly, every one of your shots is stopped.
Off the face-off now. Aeros have got it. Here is Rob Robinson now as he moves it right to left. Robinson at center. He'll turn the pass to Jakes. Shoveled it into Minnesota territory. Tippett fights for it. Tippett in the slot. It's batted down by Humanuk of the Moose, but now Chitaroni to the line. Robinson. Long shot. Deflected wide. The rebound. Eves couldn't corral it. Now it is Stu Gavin trying to roll in the corner. He takes a whack from Chitaroni. Tippett muscling Kolstad along the boards. Here is a chance. Eves trying to center the shot by Tippett. And a left-hand save. Draper rebounded. But Tippett a backhander. A great stick save by Draper. Now behind the cage. Eves trying to center. Draper down, and he'll cover up. And then Chitaroni trying to find some scraps. But Draper had him covered up. And now the natives getting just a wee bit restless behind Tommy Draper as they felt Chitaroni took an extra poke at him. 3.5 gone by in the first. No score in this hockey game, and the Aeros showing tremendous jump in this first period.
But they got to watch out, because this Minnesota Moose team is a good team and a good playmaking team. If you give them an opportunity, they're going to find a way to do something at the other end. I would hate psychologically to see something happen here, because Draper is the guy right now who's keeping the Moose in the game. The Aeros could have scored 2-3 times already. Murray Eves, Dave Tippett, Mario Chitaroni coming into the play, all having good opportunities in the last shift before Mario takes a hit from Snuggerud, and everybody kind of piles up behind the net. Face off to the left of Draper in the circle.
Freer against Moran, back to the line. The drive by Grant, rejected by Draper, and the Moose will clear it. Here's Oleg Shargorodsky now for Houston. He'll turn along the left side and roll it into Minnesota territory. It comes squarely off to Draper. Dropped it back. Larry Olam spins it along the boards. Curry. And out is Moran. A cross-ice pass intercepted by Shargorodsky. His lead pass for Freer just ahead of him. And Hackstall goes back. Quickly rolled for Olam. Tipped it up for Dan Curry, and the former Phoenix Roadrunner now blasted out the center ice. Dave Christian hands it to Moran across the line, dropping it back. But the Aeros are there to get it, but not out. Hackstall a drive. And that just sizzled wide of the net. I don't know if Dobson saw that or not. Now behind the cage, they grind it out. Centering pass right on. And a left hand save by Dobson. Another drive. Hit a leg in front. And now it's Graham Townsend at center. A cross pass for Freer. Hits the line. Freer makes the move. Here does it in. Shooting. Big save by Draper. Oh, what a play. Freer set up Townsend nicely like a guy on a first date. Here is Freer now behind the cage trying to run it back. Jakes shoots. That's blocked by Curry. All the Aeros Aeros turning out some beautiful plays here offensively, but Tommy Draper standing on his head early.
Townsend's got to be a little frustrated. Missed the net on his great opportunity first shift, and he got one away here that Draper just took away from him.
Now back in Aero territory. Shagarodsky could have played it, opted not to, as he's in a battle now with Johnny Young in the corner. Sean Williams trying to fish it out in skates. Hackborn fights for it. 15-10 to go in the first. A scoreless hockey game, but a great start to this game. Puck for Hackborn. He spun off. He and Williams go at it behind the cage. Now it's popped away by Dobson. Here is Mike Yo along the near side. He'll bust it out of the zone. A pass deflected. It'll go back into Minnesota territory. Chris Miller now, pursued by Lenny Hackborn. Miller turns up the right wing board, banks it off. He couldn't clear it. It hit Williams. Sean Williams goes back for it now. Williams in his own zone, weaving through traffic. Pass through the neutral zone, goes all the way down the ice. This will be icing as Kevin Grant goes back. And we'll take a timeout. 5.5 gone in the first. No score on the Aeros Broadcasting Network. Along with Russ Small, Adam Gordon with you. A scoreless hockey game as Rob Dobson looks on and has not really been tested like his counterpart, Tommy Draper.
Oh, no, they've really tested Draper at the one end. At the other end, Dobson's have a little bit of a test. There's been some scrambles in front of him and behind him and all around. Moments ago, he clears the puck himself from the side of his net. Made a good heads-up play to get it out of trouble. He found the puck, so he took care of it. Good play by Dobber.
Back in their own zone, the Aeros will come ahead now. It's Robinson, banks to center. Osiki has to hustle back into his own zone. Osiki near side, bumped by Hackborn. It'll come to center. Robinson flipped it back into Minnesota territory. Chris Miller back for it. Miller now will touch, and they will say that is icing. And the face-off will be brought back. Or is it offsides? Well, it's not offsides, but I think they're going to... Offsides would bring it to the blue line here. I guess they're going to... I don't know what to call it.
Not sure what he's calling, but it's going to be a face-off up at center ice. The Aeros are outshooting the Moose, outplaying the Moose, had good chances. Yet Terry Ruskowski's team and Frank Saratori's team are scoreless. Interesting thing about shots on goal. Sometimes it tells a story, sometimes not. The Aeros had a 5-game losing streak recently in which they outshot opponents in all 5 games. And they went into Milwaukee, got outshot by the Admirals, and won the game. So shots on goal doesn't always tell the story.
Here's a puck now controlled by Minnesota as they will break out 3-on-2. Stefan Moran across the line. A lead pass. That's offsides to Kolstad.
That's offside.
Are you sure now?
I'm sure of that one.
You know, while we've got a minute with 13:59, I want to talk quickly about the first period intermission, and we hope to have it with you here. HSE will hopefully cover it along with the Aeros Broadcasting Network. The big bout between Russ Small and Dan Patrick, and I'm curious what kind of mental preparation you went through.
I've really been in a zone for about a week. You know, I paced this thing over the last few weeks, and it's been about the last week that I really got into the right mental frame of mind, and I'm just going to let it happen. You know, no pressure. I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm going to let my instincts take over, and I'm extremely confident. In fact, I guarantee I will win.
Quickly, what was your pregame meal?
Fajitas.
Oh.
Same as you.
True. Thought maybe I had a carbo load or something.
No.
Bucks at center ice.
Fajitas in a 6-pack.
Here's Freer. Nice centering pass deflected by Townsend. He's had 3 good chances here in this period now. Puck behind the cage as Arneal digs it out away from Moran. It's worked along the boards. Dave Morissette will clear, and it's out at center ice. Here comes the Moose now. Moran, lead pass. Humanuk across the line. Shoots, and he flipped it high and wide of the net. And back is Graham Townsend. Townsend now trying to move it ahead. Freer brings it in 2-on-1 with Arneal. Arneal right into the pass, just a bit ahead of him. Now Arneal in the corner fighting for it with Humanuk as Freer comes off on the line change. Puck picked up by Moran, can't clear. Valimont wide shoots. Oh, it was deflected wide. I think Arneal could have gotten a piece of it. Just may have tipped that wide of the net. This line of Freer, Arneal, and Townsend have been outstanding here at the start. Valimont, a drive, blocked by Chitaroni, and now a break for Sissons. Sissons in alone, waiting, turning, shooting, big save by Dobson. Oh my! But I'll tell you what, the key is the play by Valimont, not getting a penalty.
Yeah, and it was just terrific work back there to catch up to Sissons and affect his shot on Dobson. He's breaking in, and he's got a great opportunity to go all the way in, and Shagarodsky is there just to whack him a few times, just to push him off stride a little bit. Whack 1, whack 2, whack 3, just to bother the stick, bother the shot enough that he can't get everything on it, and Dobson can take an angle and make the stop.
Face off in the circle to the right side of Rob Dobson. As you see Karl Valamon. Top of the puck, and here is Shagarovsky now. Oleg Shagarovsky having a little trouble, gets it back behind the net, and away he'll come for Murray Eaves. Skating down the left side, Eaves across the line, dumps the puck in, out of the net. Tom Draper had it to Hackstall, but it came right to Dave Tippett, gives to Eaves. Eaves working in the corner, hands it back, Chitaroni turns, waits, shoots, locked in front. And now Sissons romps to center, 3-on-2. Sissons across the line, centered it, but it went behind the net. Now in there, behind the cage is Williams, bumped by Chitaroni. We're going to get a penalty coming up, I think, on the Aeros.
I think Mario's going to get called.
12:19 left in the first, scoreless hockey game, and Chitaroni does not like to call, and he'll go to the penalty box, and we'll get our first look at the Minnesota power play.
Mario had a great chance at one end of the ice, great scoring chance, but at the other end of the ice, back checking nicely, got the elbow up there on Sean Williams, and he's going out for 2.
Well, the Aeros penalty killing rather, still third in the IHL, 83.2%. Minnesota's power play, 17.3%. But I'll tell you what, a lot of those numbers come from the early part of the year, and you just look at the guys they've got out there. You know, they picked Sissons up from Denver, quality hockey player. You've got Dan Curry from Phoenix. What a season he's having with Minnesota. Very volatile power plays. A centering pass right on, and Dobson had to get that out of there. Here's a drive right on Dobson, save, rebound. Oh, Dobson out and covering up. What a save by Rob Dobson. 2 marvelous saves, and he keeps the Moose off the board.
And Adam, I can't begin to tell you how psychologically important this Minnesota power play is to the Aeros. They've outplayed the Moose. Now it's the first power play chance of the night. The Aeros could well be ahead in this game. They are scoreless, and Dobson has to come up with a big save from right on his doorstep just to keep this game even. Curry was right there, right in position, and if Dobson doesn't make that stop, with Curry on one side of the net, the rebound would have gone right to him. It would be a 1-0 game.
Here's Dan Curry from the circle, trying to get a shot in there for Sissons. That's broken up by Valamon. Here's the puck now, rolled away by Pellerin. Hackborn can't clear it, but Valamon will. And now it is Shagarovsky with Pellerin. Shagarovsky carries left side. Shagarovsky centered it. It went rink wide, and it's back for Stefan Moran. Tipped the puck ahead for Humanok. He'll boom one into Aero territory. Now to the near side. Christian at the hash marks. Right side centered that, but it was blocked away nicely by Valamon. Now a chance. Moran to the line. One-time shot. Pinball wide of the net. Loose behind the cage. Here is Moran. Base of the right circle. Getting set on the power play. The Moose. 1 minute 5 remaining. Here is Moran. Wine. Shoots right on. And Dobson down. Makes a great save with 11:19 to go in the first. No score.
Look what great soft passes Stefan Moran has made the last couple of times he's had the puck. Out to the point. First of all, he knows immediately from the corner who's going to be open. Slides that pass. Takes a return pass, and on the go, slaps it right at the cage. That's why he's the guy with a 14-game scoring streak, point scoring streak, and why he's the offensive leader of this Minnesota team.
Originally a draft pick of the Quebec Nordiques. He's a free agent now, obviously not owned by anybody. Here's a guy with 52 points. I think he may open some NHL eyes, especially with the lockout ending.
Absolutely.
Now there's Moran, right wing boards, getting set, sends it back, left side, Humanok. They've got 48 on the power play. Christian rolled it back. Humanok getting set, watched by Arneal. A cross-ice pass, Christian. Give it to Moran. He's got the head up, looking down low, but he sends it back. It's intercepted by Freer. He's got a man to beat. Freer left side, trying to dump one in there. Arneal was a little late joining on that rush. If Arneal was up maybe another foot, Aeros would have had a 2-on-1 shorthanded.
Well, I put the whammy on Moran. He made a bad pass, and the Aeros were able to intercept.
Now battle for the puck, and Moran has got it as Arneal and Christian kind of tumbling to the ice there, and now the puck at center. Moran fires it into Aero territory. Dobson cannot corral it. Sean Williams in the corner. He takes a bump along the boards from Rob Robinson, or give it to Williams now. Sean Williams, right wing boards, top of the near circle. Line shoots, blocked nicely by Robinson. Down on his knees, but couldn't clear it. Power play now. Oh, there's a shot deflected. Good in. Oh, Dobson got a piece of it. How did he see that through traffic? And now Chitaroni hits the line. Chitaroni pulls up, knocked off the puck, and a penalty coming up. Here's Valamon. Right in on goal. Center the puck. This shot blocked, and now Chitaroni on the delayed penalty. Extra attacker out for the Aeros. Here's a chance now. Jake's line shoots, blocked in front. As diving on it was Humanok. Aeros still with an extra attacker. Net empty. Jake's booming drive. and it's sliced wide of the net. Balamont rolls it down behind. Finally, John Young is there, and play whistled down with under 10 minutes to go in the first. And when we return, the Aeros power play. We'll have more IHL action after this. 9:48 left in the first. Adam Gordon along with Russ Small, scoreless hockey game. And let's take a look at our high-low rule book. The Aeros on the power play because of a tripping minor to Scott Humanuk. And when you look at it, it's called when a player uses his stick, his arm or leg to cause an opponent to trip or fall. And clearly that is the case as Mario Chitaroni went in. And Scott Humanuk got the stick on him. And the Aeros, because of that, will be on the power play with a face-off to the right of Tom Draper.
6th in the league in power play percentage, 21.4%. But 13th in the league in home power play. Only 18% efficient at home with the man advantage.
Now the Moose take the puck and romp the center. Shorthanded Dave Hackstall. He'll shoot it into Aero territory. Snuggerud, one of the best IHL penalty killers. In fact, he was one of the best in the National League. Now the puck in Aero territory. Here is Shargorodski. He's watched by Snuggerud. Chopped down by Snuggerud. Now the Aeros trying to dig it out, and Freer has got it. Pass for Arneal. He had it swept away, but now it's picked up. Townsend pulls up, shoots it in, and out of the net, Tom Draper. Here's Draper having a little trouble with it. Now Tippett's got it. Left wing board. Roll it down behind the net for Freer. He looked to center it. He took a whack, though. And the Moose able to clear it, not out. Arneal back to the line. Shargorodski wide, shoots, whistle wide. Rebound loose in front. There's Freer, base of the right circle. Get it to Arneal at the hash marks. Walks in, wide, shoots, right on. Glove save by Draper. Now behind the net, Snuggerud turns and fires it down the ice. 1:07 remaining in the penalty to Humanuk. No score, 8:51 to go in the first.
Good job by Draper, but good job by Scott Arneal. They kind of backed off him as he was coming out of the corner with it, and so he found an angle and he took the shot. Made Draper make a good save.
At center now, the Aeros dump the puck in after it. Len Hackborn, he'll play it, base of the right circle. Hackborn back to the line, Shargorodski. Here's Tippett, left circle, back to the line. Shargorodski to Hackborn as the Aeros cycle the puck around the point. Shargorodski, lone man at the point, fakes the shot, now waits, now shoots, blocked in front, and it's swept away, not out, but a second finally went off the stick of Oleg Shargorodski. Now Hackborn at center. Aeros with a half a minute on the power play as they make changes on the go. Shargorodski back for Carl Valamont. Spins one up at center. This should be 2 lines as Yo plays it, and play is whistled down. 8:06 left in the first. No score and only 19 seconds remaining on the power play. The Aeros now making some changes. Their power play down to 19 seconds, and because of the 2-line pass, face off in their end.
I just need to warn you that in another couple of minutes I'm going to leave you here, Adam. I have to go downstairs and get ready to entertain my thousands of fans on hand here from News Radio 740 KTRH as I will be the between periods intermission with some other guy.
I'll tell you what, this could be the highlight of my broadcasting career. When they told me I'd be doing the games on HSE and Paramount 20, I was just ecstatic. But when they told me, Russ Small, Dan Patrick, you're the man, folks, this could be the highlight.
Oh, yeah. Now you know you've arrived.
This will be fun. I can't wait. Hackborn across the line. We had a good workout today as it was Valamont trying to sit it with the drive right on. Draper save. Rebound turned around. Here is Hackstall now. He's in there working with Mike Yo. It's taken away. Hackborn center. Chitaroni can't get the shot away. You know, the Aeros are close here. They've worked their tails off in this first period. Base of the right circle. Hackborn centered one, but just tipped away by Humanuk, and it goes back down the ice.
They really have worked extremely hard. I want to see them get rewarded here with a goal. I don't like the psychological impact if Minnesota gets a bounce their way and scores the first goal.
Here's Lariola. He'll dump it into Aero territory. Robinson back to retrieve. Robinson pulls up. He'll start the rush from right to left. Robinson chipped it high off the glass. It'll go back at center. Osiki quickly turns it around. Pumped it into Aero territory. Jakes is there. Can't clear. It's taken away. Here's Sissons. Hand on the shot. There's one of those bounces you were talking about, Russ. Now Osiki couldn't hold it in, and it's back at center ice. Osiki lobs it high in the air. Robinson to make the fair catch, and now he'll play it from right to left. Robinson barreling to center ice. Robinson. And Barry Warner kept thinking it was Larry Robinson, the all-star defense. I'll tell you what, that's not a bad name tag to have. Now the puck in the corner. We all get tongue-tied, but that's quite a way to get tied up. The puck is tied up in the corner. Tip base of the left circle. Centered one. Rejected out of there by Draper. And Sissons trying to clear it out at center. Jakes now on the right wing board. Turning back to his own blue line. 6:20 to play here in this first period. No score. Tippett across the line. Barreling in. Tippett turns. Straight shot right on. And there was Draper to make the save as they barrel in there. And now a gathering in front as one of the Moose shaking up in there. And everybody kind of gathering firing up in there. And while they do that, we'll take time out. 6:15 to go. No score more after this. Welcome back to the Summit. Adam Gordon solo now as Russ Small has gone down to get ready for his first period intermission bout with Dan Patrick. Oh, I can't wait. But right now, the business at hand is the Aeros and the Moose scoreless in an outstanding first period. Draper is coming up big once again, but let's not forget about a couple of stops that Rob Dobson has made. Face off in the circle to the left side of Tom Draper. Freer, Arneal, and Townsend with Shagarodsky and Valamont. Drop of the pockets controlled by Kolstad. He'll bring it up the right side. Center ice pass deflected away by Arneal. A roll right back in Aero territory. Dobson taking the chance to come out. He'll fling it himself back at center. Kolstad wings it into Aero territory, and it'll be steered away by Oleg Shagarodsky. Takes a check from Kravitz. Gave the puck away. It comes in front. The drive blocked as there was Snuggerud in there. Now it's grinded out, and Freer's got a break, but it's intercepted and poked away by Kolstad. He had a chance for Townsend. Now across the line, Stu Gavin barreling down the right side. Gavin in behind the net. He's wrapped up by Shagarodsky. It's picked up by Oleg Shagarodsky. 5.5 to go here in the first. No score. Arneal trying to make the move around Hackstall, but it's blasted out at center, and the Aeros are back. Graham Townsend now banked it off the boards. It goes into Minnesota territory. This has been the Aeros' most productive line as far as chances are concerned. Christian now, quick shot, whistled wide of the net, and now Robinson turns behind the cage. Quick pass out to the right side for Len Hackborn. Hits the line with Yo. Hackborn turns it back, just missed Yo with a pass, but Yo's got it. Base of the right circle. Yo trying to move it in front. He's in a battle with Dan Curry. Grind out of there by Chitaroni, but it's turned around by the Moose. It's out at center ice. Back go the Aeros. Robinson firing it off the boards. Here is Hackborn now. He will turn. Hackborn in the zone. Trying to center one. That goes wide. Now a chance. Grant White shoots. Right on Draper. The save. The rebound. And Draper will dive on it and hold on. 4:45 left in the first, and still a scoreless hockey game, but yet another chance by the Aeros is Tom Draper coming up very big. And for those of you watching on HSC, you take a look at how Kevin Grant got all the weight behind that shot. Draper makes the save, and Mario Chitaroni just, you know, you could almost close your eyes and always know that Mario is somewhere around the puck. You just never know if what's going to happen when the puck is somewhere around. You just always count on number 16, Mario Chitaroni, to be there, as he almost was there. 15-11 unofficially, the shots in favor of the Houston Aeros. Drop of the puck. It's controlled by Minnesota. Here's Chris Miller now. He takes a bump by Eves, who's had a pretty good first period in this game. It'll roll to the near side for Chris Miller. Moving up the right side. Miller out at center. Oh, broken up by Tippett, trying to stumble into the zone. Tippett jammed in there by Dave Christian. They go out and along the near side. It's fished out of there by Robinson. Popped into the far corner. 4.5 to go in the first. No score in this hockey game. It's dumped into Aero territory. Robinson hustles back down. Here is Rob Robinson now. He'll turn to the puck and move it right to left. Quick pass out to the right side. Pellerin trying to go rink wide. Curry didn't see it. Eves did. Here it comes right back. Pellerin hits the line. Hits the shot. Stick saved by Draper. Now back is Kolstad for Minnesota. Skating away from the check of Brian Pellerin. Kolstad, all 6'6" inch of him. Getting out at center, but turned around by Jake. Pellerin can't play the puck. It's turned around by Morissette. The Aeros have got it back. Carl Valamont with under 4 minutes to go. Arneal for Houston shoots it into Minnesota territory. If you're just joining us and wondering why the white sweaters the way they are, they're back to the old 70s, the days when Terry Ruskowski played. The year that they won the Avco Cup. Here is Dean Kolstad now. Sends it along the boards. It's picked away by Arneal. Behind the net, turns, trying to center it, can't do it. Now Jake's right point, bouncing puck, lets the shot go, but missed the net badly. It'll come to the near side for Sean Williams. He'll deflect that to the line and out at center ice. No score, 3:24 left in the first. It's taken by Minnesota and dumped into Aero territory. Here is Steve Jakes now. He'll shake off a check, and away he'll come to the near side. Arneal, cross ice pass for Freer as he hits the line. Freer had it topped away by Larry Olam, and the Moose have got it. Snuggerud at center for Michael Kravitz. Hand it back. Olam trying to split the D. Walked in on goal. Oop, could have been a penalty, but play going right on. Here is Michael Kravitz. Turns in the slot, a drive, blocked, loose in front. And there's Arneal in midair to bat that down the ice. Great play by Scott Arneal. And the Moose go back. No icing as it never crossed the line. 2:49 left in the first. Puck at center ice. Snuggerud across the ice for Kravitz. Back is Robinson trying to bank it out of there. Chitaroni takes a bump, but the Aeros come away. Hackborn hits the line. Here is Hackborn. Pulls up at the left circle. Looking for a pass. He rolls it down, but nobody there except Stu Gavin. He'll get it out at center ice. 2.5 to go here in the first. No score. Puck at center. Aeros boom it in there. Mike Yo, it sizzles along the boards. Great action to this first period. Here is a puck sent down the ice. 2:20 left. This will be icing as Yo goes back and play is whistled down. No score in the hockey game. More IHL action from the Summit right after this. No score in the hockey game, 2:18 to go. Aeros fans, you have your pencil and paper ready during the intermission. We'll tell you how you can order some great looking Houston Aeros apparel from the comfort of your own home. That's coming up in the intermission, so stay tuned. Nice jerseys there. Hey, enjoying the game. She's saying, where's my beer? He's saying, right there. There it is. Here's the puck now. Shagorodsky. Yeah, right. That's what they're saying. Here's Pellerin turning at the top of the slot. Fired it in the far corner. Now here's Tippett trying to come in front. Turn, shoots, blocked in front. And now we're going to get a fight as they bang away on the puck. And we're going to get Pellerin going at it with Chris Miller. These two fought in the last meeting, and they have a score to show. Pellerin with a big left, stunning him with a rocking right hand, or a left hand rather. Now firing back with a right. Now Miller trying to get back in there, and a stiff uppercut by Pellerin. Miller trying to come back with it. This going on in the blue line to the Minnesota zone. Pellerin trying to get the right free. Stiff overhand right. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Now Pellerin trying to come back. He's got his sweater loose. Here's Pellerin still trying to jar it back, but Miller with a stiff right hand. Pellerin staying in there. They're going at it some more. Great bout between Brian Pellerin and Chris Miller. Pellerin firing back with a left hand, and he'll knock him back into the 19th century, and the linesman in there to break it up. What a bout, though, as those two going at it. That was definitely a draw. Oh, my. A great bout between Chris Miller and Brian Pellerin, and I can only hope that that is not what we're going to see between Russ Small and Dan Patrick. Oh, my. What a bout, and the crowd standing for Brian Pellerin. This is a kid that came in after missing quite a few games, just in and out, not just because of injury, but because of numbers. A kid that came in and was playing with Freer and Arneal, played very well, then they took him off the line, and although his offensive production is down a little bit, he's not known for his offensive production, but he's done the other things very well. He has been in there, sticking his nose either A, where it belongs, or where it doesn't belong. And if it doesn't belong, he'll make sure it belongs. And a very good bout there. But Chris Miller, these two went back in the last meeting when the Moose handed the Aeros a 3-2 shootout loss back on December 9th. Those two went at it in a pretty good bout. So still some unfinished business, and I have a feeling the dance cards may be full once again for those two. Maybe not tonight, but maybe in another meeting. We'll have to see. Face off in the circle to the left side of Tom Draper. The sad part was the Aeros had some scoring chances, but those two were a little preoccupied. No score in the hockey game. Off the face-off, puck skips over the stick of Carl Valamont. He'll turn and flip it back into Minnesota territory. The Moose go back. Kolstad with 2 minutes to play in the first. Dean Kolstad now. He'll start the rush from left-right. Aeros set up in their neutral zone trap. Here is Eves trying to trap it to the near side. Aeros do a great job of turning the puck around, and they'll shoot it into Minnesota territory. The trap has killed Minnesota at times this year when the Aeros have applied it. It's like a vice, but now the Moose are able to squeeze through the vice and get the puck at center. Curry across the line, get it to Moran, off skates. Aeros trying to run it down in there with 1.5 minutes to go here in this first period. Still no score. And finally, Eves turns around. Murray Eves back in his own zone. He will spin the puck ahead. Here is Mario Chitaroni, who is the roommate for Murray Eves. They lived together here during the season, back in Sugarland. And the Moose now turn it at center. Here is Dave Hackstall, cross-ice pass, tipped away by Townsend, but boomed back in by Dave Christian. Dobson, Cat, Corral, but the Moose making changes, so Kevin Grant's got it with 1:06 to play in the first. No score. Freer, right side, dumps it into Minnesota territory. Draper out to slow it. Having trouble, hands it to Osik. He reversed it near side, and now Snuggerud turns for Minnesota. Dave Snuggerud, pass at center ice. Kravitz trying to drop it back. Stu Gavin across the line, getting set. Here is Gavin, a cross-ice pass, block. It's centered and whipped wide of the net by Snuggerud. Down the near side, Arneal with 40 seconds to go in the period. Arneal barreling to center ice for Robinson. He's hauled down. Oh, Lego kind of had the hand looking like it was going to go up, and instead says no. Now back in Aero territory. Here is Kevin Grant to Robinson. And it's out at center ice. Kolstad flipped it back into Aero territory. Grant is there, and he'll chip it out at center. Townsend for Freer. Hits the line. 15 seconds left. Freer stood up nicely by Hackstall. Sissons, he's able to clear it to Snuggerud, who comes to center for Hackstall. Dave Hackstall, give it to Michael Kravitz. Oh, Valamont went the other way. Kravitz spun off the puck nicely though, and here comes Hackford. 3 seconds left and that'll do it. Buzzer sounds and this period is over. So a scoreless first period and some talking going on between Yeo and Kravitz, but when we return, we'll have the bout between Dan Patrick and Russ Small next on the Aeros Broadcasting Network.
They must remember the interceptions.
Welcome back to the Summit, everybody. Adam Gordon with you as we get set for what should be an outstanding bout. Are you ready for Russ Small and Dan Patrick? You know, I got to tell you, a lot of people thought with the bout like this, they thought that maybe if Marv Albert showed up, it kind of sounded like this. You know, getting set here at the Summit, it should be a great bout. Rafael Bazooka Libold against Jorge Paez. But quickly, we got to get some comments here. All right, hold on here. Gif, are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. Let's get some fan participation. How many of you think KTRH's Russ Small will be victorious? How about KSEV's Dan Patrick? They think of you like I think of you. Okay, let's go. We got to go over the rules. It's the same rules as we had on this show.
Hey, it's a 90-second event. We don't have all night.
You can spit. High checking, low checking is in. Are you guys ready to go? Okay, give me the sumo bow. Give me the sumo bow like you guys like each other. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna drop it. Here we go. Go! Oh my gosh. Uh-oh, gotta have another puck. Throw me another puck. Right here. Here we go. Right there. Come on, hit each other. Let's go. Patrick's in it. Oh, he's got it. It's a sumo. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my God. Help him up. Help him. That's it. The puck's still loose. The puck's still loose. Will he score? Oh no. No. No.
Great save by Patrick.
Get him up. Come on, Hustle, getting his stick. Okay, we got a face off right here. No, give me that puck. Give me that. Hold it. Get that puck out of here, Pogge. Okay, here we go. Face off right here. Ready? Go. No. No.
Hit the post.
Uh-oh. It looks like a fast break. Gonna be offsides. What a play by Small. What a
30
play by
seconds
Small.
to play. 30
Hustle,
seconds.
get up. Here we go. Here we go. I'm dropping. We got to score. Go. Oh, my. Small. Okay, give me another puck. Hurry. Gotta go. Here we go. How much time, Tom?
15 seconds.
Uh-oh, it's turning physical. It's turning
10
physical.
seconds.
Oh. Oh, my.
5,
Oh, no,
4, 3, 2, 1.
it's a tie. Hey, what do you think? Can we have a shoot off? Okay, hold it from right here, Okay, a shoot off to that net. You got one shot. No, there. You're going there, just one. Stand right there. Turn around here. You're going to shoot to that net.
The Zamboni's going to run you down.
Okay, here we go. All right. Sorry, folks, it's a tie. All right,
I
thank you
guess
very
we didn't
much.
settle anything, did we?
Thank you, Gif.
Sumo hockey. Let's hear it for Dan Patrick and Russ Small and Gif Nielsen.
Quickly here, Russ. We got to get a quick closing comment here, of course, you know, with the HSA. Your thoughts on what was a real close battle?
I had him. Gifford made a bad drop of the puck on that last one.
Oh, yeah? What is your thought?
Who is this guy? I still don't know who he is. I don't know who he is.
All right. Well, it's a 0-0 hockey game, and we'll have more action right after this.
Welcome back to the Summit, everybody. Adam Gordon along with Russ Small. A scoreless hockey game here in the first period, and what an outstanding first period it was. And tell you what, there was as much excitement in the Sumo match than there was in the hockey game, but the Aeros with a lot of chances. And let's take a look at those highlights brought to you by Columbia HCA as we take a look at them. And the first one, a great save by Rob Dobson here as Sisson splits the D. You know, the last time this happened, the Minnesota Moose scored. Sisson split the D and sent it into the shootout 2-2. But Dobson says, I'll have none of that. But look at this. Boom, right there. Dobson, great save. But the Aeros got some great chances also, as look at Dave Tippett smoking down the right side. He got right by Larry Olam, in on goal, centered it, and there was Draper down to make the save. The Aeros with so many chances, and it was an outstanding period. Look at Tippett again going right in there, and Draper just making some wonderful saves. So it makes the scoring summary very, very easy. There was no scoring in that first period, but just numerous chances, and the Aeros find themselves in a scoreless hockey game. We'll have more from the Summit right after this. Back to the Summit, everybody. Adam Gordon with you. A scoreless hockey game. We're in the first period intermission, and you know, I'm just sitting here thinking back to some of the great opportunities, and you know, the line that really stood out in my mind was the Freer, Arneal, and the Townsend line. Graham Townsend, I thought, had three outstanding opportunities, and yet Tom Draper was just scintillating in the pipes for the Minnesota Moose, and it's just amazing when you look at the difference this Minnesota Moose team has. But I'll tell you what, the Aeros had an outstanding first period, and it reflects in the James Coney Island stats as we take a look at it. The Aeros outshot the Minnesota Moose 17-12, so you can turn those numbers around. 17 saves for Tom Draper, 12 for Rob Dobson. Power plays, both teams 0 of 1 on the man advantage, and both teams having 2 penalties for 7 minutes. Of course, that outstanding bout between Brian Pellerin and Chris Miller really got this crowd fired up. You know, if you're Terry Ruskowski, I guess the question is, what do you tell your troops? Again, it almost looks like you're running into the same situation in Kansas City. They're bearing down, they're creating chances, they keep coming at them in waves, but Tom Draper is there. So I think at this point, you know, you got to see the character come out, and that's where, you know, the guys like the Freers and the Arneals have got to continue to be the leaders, and the Dave Tippett to say, hey, okay, we were there, we're almost there, just bear down, it'll come. And let's not forget the defense. Outstanding job as well. Scoreless hockey game here in the first period intermission, and we'll have more from the Summit right after this. Russ Small, Adam Gordon with you. Scoreless hockey game as we get set for the start of the second period. Let's take a look at some more officially licensed Aeros apparel for all you Aero fans. There's Angela Grant once again, the wife of Kevin Grant. She's wearing this official cap and has a team color crown with a contrasting visor. It's constructed of wool, and it's adjustable for a comfortable fit for any fan. Complement the cap with this great-looking Aeros golf shirt. It's available in 3 sizes, medium, large, and extra large. Either of these make a great gift. To order, call 1-800-423-2121. Cap sale for $19.95, and the golf shirts are $29.95 plus $3.95 shipping and handling. 30-day money-back guarantee of satisfaction, so have your credit cards ready. Call 1-800-423-2121 and ask for hockey. Then ask for Aeroware. And I'll tell you, though, the Aeros coming back on the ice. No, those jerseys are not for sale. Those are the old ones. I'll tell you what, the Aeros, they kind of threw back the clock a little bit there in that period. They played like the Aeros of old. I think Terry Ruskowski may be feeling a little nostalgic after that first. So, with a scoreless hockey game, the Aeros taking the ice, and Rob Dobson, who stopped all 12 shots that he faced. Tom Draper leading his team back out, and you know, the Aeros, I think, you know, at this point, Terry Ruskowski says, hey, let's keep going the way we were in that first period.
Adam, I've seen lousy scoreless first periods, and I've seen terrific scoreless first periods. This was a terrific scoreless first period. The Aeros got out to that quick start and really peppered Draper. But then it go about 5, maybe 8 minutes into the period, Minnesota came back, and they had some big chances on Rob Dobson, but he made all the saves. So good period, physical period. We had some guys square off there near the end. Pellerin in a beauty, and good period, but scoreless.
We made a mistake, our guys in the truck, Murphy Brown, Mike Anastasio told me we do have a highlight for the Columbia HCA highlights, and it's this goal right here. And Russ, please go through that for me.
The puck was there, the goal was there. I hit the puck in the goal. What I got mad at the end of this thing, the last face-off, you see, it was kicked in. It was well, it wasn't kicked in, but it was kicked over there. It was a bad face-off that just rolled on edge and all the way to the goal. I really think that was unfair.
You know, I don't know if we have it in the truck for the one defensive play. You know, we talk about your offensive prowessness, but I don't think we have the great defensive play that you made lunging. And, you know, we've talked about how you have to play the puck first. I mean, it was a non-penalty call. Good call.
And you got to be a two-way player. You can't be always thinking goal. Sometimes when the other guy has the upper hand, you got to be able to play D. And I do pride myself, Adam, on being able to play both ends of the ice.
All right, we're set for the start of the second period.
I really wanted to win, though.
Well, I mean, I guess, you know, I don't know what to say. I think everybody was really split in the audience, but I thought I heard a lot more cheering when they did announce your name. And I think, you know, that's important.
Unquestionably. Thank you very much. Thanks for noticing.
Where's my pen? Top of the puck. We're underway for the start of the second period. And the Moose have got it. Back is Dave Haxtell now. He's got it out at center ice, picked up by Robinson. A bouncing puck, trying to boom it ahead. That's picked away, and it goes back into Minnesota territory for Haxtell. He'll skate it out the right side. Christian hits the line with Moran and Curry. Dave Christian winds, shoots. Ooh, hit the side of the net. Now Curry trying to flip one out in front. Dobson had it, lost it. Back behind the net, Kevin Grant. He lost the puck, but still fighting for it. He'll roll it to Townsend, but he can't clear the zone. Kolstad, left point, long shot, ricocheted wide of the net. Now Curry having his stick held by Grant, who will play the puck now right side. And the Aeros come to center. 4-on-2. Do they know it? Here they come. Arneal across the line, makes the move. Give it to Grant. He couldn't get the shot away, though. That was a slow development. I'm not sure they realized they were in a 4-on-2, Russ.
Yeah, I don't think they did, because they just took it so slowly in that by the time they got in there, you're right, it was very slow to develop, and the Moose got back into it.
At center now, here's Arneal. Turns it around for Chitaroni. He takes a bump. And the Moose turn it around, and they'll just shovel it right back down the ice. They will say no icing, so Dobson will slow. First man back is Rob Robinson. We played a minute here in the second. No score. Eves. He'll come to center. Eves across the line through Stu Gavin. Dropped it back. Here's the shot by Tippett wide of the net. And it's slowed by Draper behind the net. And now Larry Olam clears at center. Knocked down by Valamont. Trying to turn the puck ahead to Mario Chitaroni. Nice move. Hits the line. And they're going to say just offside in the faceoff back at center.
Tippett was caught in the zone, and he just couldn't get out more quickly, and Mario couldn't wait any longer to get it in the zone. There were people converging on him, so he just had to wait as long as he could and bring it in, and Tipp was trying to get out, but the twain did not meet, and offside is the call. We're scoreless. We're a minute 24 into the second period.
The face-off is at center ice. And off the face-off now, here is Oleg Shagarodsky. He'll carry it down the right side, trying to put it in there. Larry Olam will get it back out at center ice. Here is Carl Valamont. Send it back into his own zone for Oleg Shagarodsky. And Shagarodsky's got it. Right wing boards at center ice. Just about 2 minutes played in the second. No score. Puck is in, and now after it is Clayton Young. Going after it. In fact, that's his first shift I can think of, or maybe a second shift. I don't know why he hasn't been playing. As a puck turn, here's Young with a drive. Right pass in, Draper, rebound, and he's down and covering up. So Clayton Young must be pretty fresh after not playing much, as he created some marvelous chances in front.
He sure did, and his was a marvelous chance. He came up with that puck in the circle to the left of Draper, and he just swung himself around, got to the forehander, and went low to the stick side. Just swings around at the dot and goes far side, low stick side, but Draper got over there, got a piece of it, and then in the scramble in front, he tied it up. Terrific play and a terrific save.
There is Tom Draper. You know, the Aeros using Pete Dineen again on the bench. There's Pete. This is his third game behind the bench. He was asked if this would be a permanent thing. He said no. I think right now I'm just helping out Terry for as long as he needs help. If he doesn't need it, then I'll be back upstairs. But what a great way. You know, he's an ex-NHL defenseman. He played for the Kings for, I don't know exactly how long. I don't think it was about a full season for the Kings, but longtime defenseman in the I and the A, the Adirondack Red Wings, and he has a lot.
And that's what he's looking at, Adam. He's watching the defense. He's watching the D and trying to help them shake some of the slump that they've been in.
Here's a nice open ice hit as Jakes puts his shoulder in there to knock John Young off the puck. Now the Aeros turn it around, and the Aeros have come out in the second period and are still skating extremely well. Now in Aero territory, Sissons cuts behind the net, center the pass, that's blocked, and now Yo will romp the center ice. Yo with Eves and Hackborn. Yo lost the puck, and that is offsides in play. His whistle down. down with 2.5 gone in the second, no score.
Aeros have a couple of tough games coming up on the road. Next week, of course, is the All-Star break. Chance for everybody to rest a little bit, except Scott Arneal, who'll be going to Las Vegas to play in that game. Little HSE scoop here for you. The International Hockey League All-Star game could well be in this building next year. They're fighting very hard, working hard to convince the league office this is where it should be. I think it's really come down to the Summit here, the home of the Aeros, and the Palace of Auburn Hills, the home of Detroit. And we should know next week if you're getting the IHL All-Star game here next year. That'd be great.
Puck is in Minnesota territory. The puck got by and score! That got deflected by him. I don't think Arneal got to it, but it's a goal, and it's a 1-0 hockey game. Aeros lead it.
Arneal was in front and may be credited with the goal. But that puck shot from the point, I think hit a Minnesota Moose high in the slot and directed past Draper. The shot is taken from the blue line, hits a couple of sticks, and then it goes off the skate. They're right out in front of Hackstall. Whether Arneal got a piece of it or not, maybe he did for the goal, but Hackstall getting his skate in the way, directed it on goal, and a big break for the Aeros and a 1-0 lead.
Here come the Minnesota Moose now. Moran across the line, shoots, and a stick save made by Dobson. And Russ, we go back to the comments you made in the first period, and that is whoever gets the first goal would make it huge in a game such as this one.
I think so psychologically, if no other reason for the Aeros.
Here is Townsend now, base of the right circle looking for Freer. He centered it, swept out of there by Tom Draper, and now it is out at center ice. Dan Curry through the check of Freer, fired it into Aero territory. Dobson will slow it and leave it for Carl Valamon as the Moose make some changes. Here's a pass now for Arneal, trying to get it ahead for Freer, and it was blasted back by Osiki. 1-0 Houston. 3.5 gone in the second. They have not announced who got the goal as play whistled down, but I think it's got to be Scott Arneal. They do say it is Arneal. It'll be his 20th goal of the year.
Well, if he got a piece of it, it was a small piece of it.
Well, regardless, you know, we talk here, Russ, about how hard the Aeros have been working, and I mean that's just reward for as hard as they've been working.
Well, you know, they've had better scoring chances than that here in this hockey game, but the better ones don't always go in. If you keep shooting and keep getting yourself in position, keep skating hard, keep getting in the way, keep getting the shots on goal, eventually you're going to get a break or two, and they got a break there, a break that they earned, that they worked hard for, and they have a 1-0 lead.
Here's Steve Jakes now, right side, sends the puck to Robinson. Turn one up the left side for Mike Maurice, who's on for one of his first shifts of the night. Now Young throwing the body in there, Maurice in there as well. And out is Snuggerud, right side. Dave Snuggerud. Tapped away by Maurice, but Snuggerud worked it into Aero territory. Jakes back to get it. Here's Steve Jakes for the Aeros. 4 minutes gone in the second, and here's a chance. Tippett, he'll hit the line with Young. Tippett down the left side, shooting!
Should let that kind of shot go in. He sees it all the way. It's Tippett on the wing. The angle's a pretty good one generally for the goaltender to cut down. But I think the break the Aeros got on the first goal demoralized Draper just enough that he wasn't 100% ready and sharp for this goal by Dave Tippett. So the two player assistant coaches score back-to-back here, and the Aeros grab a 2-0 lead.
9th of the year for Tippett, and it's now 2-0 Houston. Jakes fires it into Minnesota territory. Hackworth a drive. Blocked by Draper. Another return shot by Chitaroni. He centered, just missing cover. Out is Jakes, left side. Robinson. Long shot deflected right on. The rebound! And Draper is down and covering up with 4.5 played in the second period. 2-0 Houston. And we'll have more IHL action from the Summit after this. Russ Small, Adam Gordon with you. 2-0 in favor of the Houston Aeros, and they just keep peppering the shots on the Moose.
You get enough shots, you're going to get some goals. They got a good break on the first one, a great shot by Tippett on the second. They've outshot the Moose 5-1 in this period.
Face-off controlled by the Aeros. And it's It's out at center ice. Here come the Aeros now, trying to turn the puck around. It's Chitaroni in a battle with Sean Williams. And now it's jumped on by Hackborn. Brings the puck in, Hackborn. Quick shot, that's deflected up and out of play. 11 to go in the second, 2-0 Aeros.
A well-earned 2-0 lead for the Aeros. The veterans lead the way. The veterans somehow managed to find the back of the net. Scott Arneal and Dave Tippett. For Arneal, who's taken over the team lead in scoring, in point scoring. It was his 20th goal. He's got 41 points. And Dave Tippett with his 9th goal. He's third on the team in scoring, now with 33.
Face-off, Freer, Townsend, Arneal with Alabon and Shargarodsky. Moran, Curry, Christian. This has been the line that's been playing outstanding. Look at real quickly Dan Curry's number. He started the year with Phoenix. He was -12. He's now +1 on the year, meaning he's a +13 in only, I'm looking here real quick, 17 games with the Moose.
Wow, that is a great plus, but playing with Moran helps.
Yeah. In fact, Moran wanted you on his line after watching your performance. Here is Moran. He'll make a nice pass. Curry across the line. A man to beat Shargarodsky. He shoots. Bullet. And there is Rob Dobson down to make the save. 14:46 to go in the second. 2-0 Houston.
Dobson's got to be careful there. They're not out of the woods by any stretch. They certainly have controlled play. They have the 2-0 lead. But things turn around very, very quickly. The Moose can come out of their own end with a great pass. Look at that soft pass at center ice. Curry takes it, gets a bit of an angle, just enough to get a shot on goal. And Dobson makes the save. Shargarodsky did the right thing, got his stick out of the way, didn't allow for any deflection or change of direction. He knew that his goaltender would have that angle covered all the way, and he let him see that puck all the way.
Yeah, that's a good point, Russ. The rule on a 2-on-1 is the defenseman will let the goalie take the shooter and then watch the pass. And that's exactly what Oleg did. Now the Aeros have a 4-on-2 break. They'll hit the line. Freer back. Shargarodsky. And it was broken up by the Moose. And now a breakaway for Christian. In on goal. He waits, shoots. He missed the net. Jumped out of the airplane, but missed the earth with his parachute. He had the entire net to shoot at. He also had Moran down the right side. And it goes right back into Minnesota territory. 14:15 to play in the second. And the Aeros, a little lucky there, but it pays to be lucky. They're working hard enough that they can have a little puck luck. And now in Minnesota territory, they grind it out. Kevin Grant, jam it down. That goes up and out of play. And play halted with 6 minutes gone in the second. 2-0 Houston.
Great opportunities at both ends of the ice. But what happened there, Adam, you said it was a 4-on-2, and it was. But the pass was a drop pass to the fourth man, the trailer. And if you don't connect, that means there's 3 guys ahead of him. And you're dropping it to one of your last guys who's on his way towards the net. And if you don't make the connection, as it was here to Hackborn, and Hackborn trying to get something going, now you got 4 guys caught up and a 5th guy caught standing still. And this isn't just a breakaway. This is practically a 2-on-0. And that's what happens when you make a drop pass on a 4-on-2.
Big drive by Kevin Grant and a stick save by Draper. Now it is Tippett. Gets it back to the line. Maurice turns with a drive, blocked by Chris Miller. It's out at center ice.
It's fired back in, and as it is, I should say, it's what happens when you make a drop pass 4-on-2 and don't make a sharp connection.
Now the puck rolled into Snuggerud. Out of the net, Dobson. Here is Kevin Grant trying to sidestep a check from Michael Kravitz. Here's Rob Robinson. A pass for Young. He's shouldered by Gavin. And now Tippett bumped off by Snuggerud. Here comes Clayton Young. Dropping through center. Young dumps the puck in near corner. In after it's Tippett. Back is Stu Gavin. He'll skate away from the check of Mike Maurice. Gavin at center ice. He overskates the puck. And it's finally flipped ahead. Here come the Moose across the line. Kravitz trying to work away from the check of Kevin Grant. Dumped the puck behind. Robinson, he takes a spill, but he got it ahead for Mike Maurice. 7 minutes to play, or 7 minutes gone rather, here in the second. Houston leading it 2-0. Puck fished out of skates. First one in there, those Snuggerud continuing to grind it out. Now it is Sissons. He takes a sharp check by Robinson. They continue to squirm under the corner now. Snuggerud in there as well. Now kicked out of there, Snuggerud. He and Maurice go at it. It came out in front, but there was Dobson to cover up and hold on. 12:48 left in the second. 2-0 Aeros. Our boys, the Houston Aeros, are in the midst of an all-out pro hockey war. You can support the war effort. The Houston Houston Aeros War Bonds are on sale now. The War Bonds are game ticket vouchers and booklets of 10. They're redeemable for tickets to the games you want to see, whether it's one game with 9 fellow bombers or 5 games with your co-pilot. Buy now and receive a ration stamp book with discount coupons from Aero Force Allies. It's worth over $100. Call 627-AERO. That's 627-AERO for more information. And there's Carl Valamont saying to Rob Dobson, hey, we need to get War Bonds. And Frank Serratore, I think, just writing down the number.
Yeah. He says, I'll call later. Right now, I got to figure out how to make up a 2-goal deficit here.
Here is Dean Kolstad now. A long, sharp angle shot goes wide of the net. Back at a point, held in by Humanuk. Here is Steve Shakes for the Aeros into the corner to the right of Dobson. Get it to Pellerin, and he'll roll it at center. But the Moose jump on it and pump it back into Aero territory. Here is Valamont to Shakes, trying to reverse it behind the net. He's wrapped up by Sissons, and Pellerin will turn down. Ryan Pellerin, a pass, just eluding Chitaroni, but he caught up to it. And here comes a 3-on-2 break. Pellerin in on the trailer there, but it was Humanuk to clear, but not out. Valamont rolls it. Pellerin just behind him. Great play by Valamont. It was just behind Pellerin. Now Carl, left side, wide, shoots, deflected. It's in the circles. Here is Hackborn. He'll turn it back to the line. Valamont looks for the shot. Here's Jakes. It almost looks like an Aero power play, but finally the Moose corral it, and they'll come away. 3-on-2. Kolstad charges down the left side. Kolstad, long shot, way wide of the net. And here is Mario Chitaroni. We'll wait for it. Chitaroni, left side, dumps it into Minnesota territory with 11:50 to go in the second. It's a 2-0 hockey game, and here come the Minnesota Moose. Larry Olam to center. Olam hits the line and is tipped away, and finally back out at center. It's shot into Aero territory. Dobson out of the net. Slow it for Shagarodski with 11:35 left here in the second. 2-0 Houston. Now Freer for Townsend. Where did it go? White shoots, and he fired it wide of the net. Chance number 4 for Townsend. He's playing great, but he's got to convert on those. He had a great chance once again. Now Olam turns it around for Moran. He overskates it. Townsend will try it again. He's having a great game, Russ. It just isn't going in for him.
Boy, if I had a quarter of every great chance he's had, I'd have $1.
You'd have two, yeah. Here is Kevin Grant. He'll turn it out at center, but it was blocked by Moran. Now Christian shoots. Dobson saves the rebound, and he'll cover up. That puck kind of got behind him and loose, but he was able to cover up, and we'll take a timeout. 11 minutes to play in the second. 2-0 Aeros. More from the Summit after this. Face off to the right of Rob Dobson. 2-0 Aeros. 11 minutes to go. Adam Gordon along with Russ Small, and the Aeros continuing to play better, but some turnovers like this one.
Well, Kevin Grant just tried to flip it up in the air and out of the zone, and he didn't get it out of the zone. It's intercepted by Moran, who's great with that stick. And they end up getting a good chance on Dobson, but he makes the stop.
Here's Steve Jakes now. Pass to the left side. Maurice can't clear it. Here's a pass in. Moran shooting. Blocked by Robinson. Here's another drive by Curry. And Dobson down to make it. Now back at center. The Aeros can't clear it, though. Now it's turned around. It's turned over again. Christian shooting. And Dobson scrambling with a right pad save. Tip it now. Jams one at center ice. Here comes Maurice across the line. He had it poke check, and that is offsides. Play whistle down with 10.5 to go in the second. 2-0 Houston.
Dobson has stopped Christian a couple of times just a moment ago, and in the shift just before the stoppage in play and the subsequent face-off, a 14-year NHL veteran, Dave Christian, a member of the 1980 gold medal winning U.S. Olympic team. University of North Dakota college product. Here,
excuse me.
I was going to say the Aeros out shooting the Moose and outscoring them 2-0.
Here's Eves, Pellerin, and Yo. Valamont, Shagarodski. Kolstad now weaving through traffic at center ice. Couldn't get it through Valamont. Now it is swept in Stu Gavin, but that's blocked by Oleg Shagarodski. Worked it right through Snuggerud, knocked down to the ice. Puck picked up by Kravitz. He's bumped by Eves. They continue to go at it along the near side. And finally, it's fished out by Oleg Shagarodski. He had his pocket picked by Stu Gavin. And now it's center. The Aeros trying to bring it in. Yo, he's tripped up on the play. Kolstad, great wide scrambly play going on between the blue lines, but here's a nice play by Gavin. He centered it. Kravitz shooting. Dobson, great save. Did he use his head on that? Gavin shooting, scoring. Stu Gavin. Dobson making about as many saves as he could. Nobody able to clear it, and it's now a 2-1 hockey game.
Can't blame Dobson. He kept making saves. The puck was brought in, and several good chances by the Moose. He made several good saves, but eventually Gavin just finds Dobson down and out and puts it by him. If you're going to make 2-3 saves in a row, you need need somebody to help you out and clear the puck away. The first one, the good shot by Kravitz. Maybe that did go in off the noggin. And then right at the side of the net, centered by Snuggerud, and then out in front. It's Gavin scoring. The assists go to Snuggerud. Andy Kravitz comes at 10-10, and it's a 2-1 hockey game. We talked in the Oshman's game plan, Adam, about putting him away. When you get him down, don't let him back up. Right now, the Moose have one leg back up.
Second goal as a Moose for Stu Gavin, fourth of the year. And it's 2-1 as Larry Olam now back in his own zone. Forecheck by Freer. Now the puck turned over here as Townsend sweeps it down. Freer trying to center it. Here's Mark Freer, right wing boards back to the line. Kevin Grant a drive. That's blocked. It comes back to a left point. Robinson chipped it down behind the cage. And now Graham Townsend, base of the right circle. Who gave the puck away. And now John Young will skate it out. Young, left side, a pass just eludes everybody. Arneal couldn't hold it in though. And it goes back into Aero territory. Here is Kevin Grant now with 9 minutes to play in the second period. 2-1 hockey game. The Aeros lead it. This will be an icing call as Hackstall goes back to touch. Play whistle down. 9:02 to go here in the second. 2-1 hockey game. The Aeros lead it.
This is that be careful point here where you've controlled play, but they've started to get just a wee little bit sloppy in their own end. Now you got to give the Moose a lot of credit for that last goal they scored. They stayed on top of it. They made some great plays, and they really went after it and eventually put it home. But the Aeros could have played better in their own end. They had a little trouble earlier than that. That's the end of the ice right now, Adam, I think is of most concern. That's where they have to play a little better.
Face off in the circle to the right side of Rob Thompson. Young with Tippett and Maurice. Defensively, Robinson and Grant. Moran, Christian, Curry with Chris Miller and Marco Siki. And Young starts early. They'll try it again. A couple of good trigger men. And Moran saying, come on, let's get it dropped here. And now Moran is going to be tossed down to the circle, or is he going to stay in there? I think he's going to be bumped, and now Christian will take the draw.
I'd feel better if he's tossed out of the building. Moran scares me. He's a terrific player, and he's just on such a hot streak.
Face off now between Christian and Young. Drop of the puck. Christian wins it back to the line. Here's Osiki. Long shot, and there was Dobson with a stick save. Clayton Young trying to clear it out of there. It'll come to the near corner. Curry bumping in there with Robinson. It goes behind the net for Moran, where he loves to set up. He centered the shot. Hit the inside. They score. They're going to call it a goal. Lego's going to call it a goal. It went into the inside of the post, and they're going to say it's a goal. It's a 2-2 hockey game.
I'll bet we get a good look on it in the replay in HSE. I think it's the right call. The light did not come on, but I believe it hit the inside of the goal and came right back out at that angle. Moran involved in this one in a setup capacity. Shot taken from just to the left, and it goes, I think that's in, but it's awful tough to see. But the ref right there, right on top of it, Mike Lego to make the rule, and it is 2-2.
Yeah, I think that's a good call because he had the perfect angle. He wasn't where he was screened from it. He was on the angle to see it go across the line. That's a good call.
Well, just like that, we said get him down, put him out. Instead, it's 2-2, so they all the hard work for the Aeros, they got to go back to square one and start working hard, or continue working hard, and find the net again.
Here is Jakes, gave the puck away though as Moran dumped it back in. Dobson out of the net, and now it is Carl Valamon up the left side. Valamon turns it out at center ice. It got by Christian, goes into Minnesota territory. Osiki watched by Arneal. It's blasted back at center. Now Valamon left side, turned the puck ahead for Arneal, and now Graham Townsend across the line. Townsend barely in, lost the puck, got it back. Now Arneal sweeping down the right side, couldn't get it through Christian though. Here is Dave Christian. He's wrapped up by Townsend. Puck bounces to the corner. Freer in a battle with Osiki, but it jumped on by Chris Miller, and here come the Moose at center. Moran, a pass for Curry. He's got Christian. Christian right in on goal, but there was Dobson to stack the pads and hold on. 8:04 left in the second. 2-2 hockey game.
But you see how the quality of the offensive opportunities has turned around here in the second period. Dobson has really been tested. Even that one coming off the stick of Curry, the centering pass is only merely deflected, but it's deflected on goal. And Dobson has to sprawl to make that stop. And look how they get in behind the Aeros defense. That could have been a 3-2 Minnesota lead. Dobson had to sprawl to make the stop. So the quality of chances now favoring Minnesota. They've tied it up here too.
Tides have really really turned in the last 5 minutes as far as the momentum, and that goes before even Minnesota scored the first goal.
Well, it also happens at the other end that the Aeros have had some good chances that Draper has stopped him on. So he held his team in the game long enough for them to find a way to score on Dobson.
Now the Moose take the puck away from Len Hackborn. Stu Gavin, who's got the first goal of the game for Minnesota. Now Michael Kravitz dropped it back. Snuggerud to drive. Dobson to save, rather. Now it's picked up by the Aeros and shot back at center ice as we've got Snuggerud and Kevin Grant looking at each other. Now the Aeros turn it around. Here's Chitaroni. Lost the puck. Dropped it back. Pellerin looks in front. He takes a check from Stu Gavin. Pellerin trying to center it. He's knocked on top of the puck, and now Gavin goes to work at the corner, but Chitaroni fished it out. Mario Chitaroni back to the line. Shargorodsky, a long shot deflected. Now back behind the net. Here is Chitaroni. Base of the right circle. Mario with a puck. Looks in front. Hands it over to Hackborn. In between the circles. Wine shoots. Whistle it wide of the net. And it was popped away by Tommy Draper. Now on the boards, and we're going to get a penalty on the Houston Aeros.
Going to be Mario Chitaroni.
Interference the call. And the Aeros are going to be short-handed in a 2-2 hockey as we get Snuggerud and Grant. They're going to drop the gloves and go. And Snuggerud has baited Grant into this. Grant could easily get a 2-minute instigator here, which would mean he'd be done for the night.
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened to start all this. It started a couple of minutes ago early in the shift. At center ice, Grant was getting back defensively, and Snuggerud got away with a trip. He stuck the stick right in between his skates and just flipped them up in the air and on the ice. Grant, as he hit the ice, looked up to make sure he got a look at that number. He knew it was number 10. About 10 seconds later, after Grant is up, Snuggerud is standing in the Aeros zone, and he comes up from behind him, and he knocks him flat to the ice, and that gets this whole thing started.
9-2, more from the Summit after this. Along with Russ Small, Adam Gordon with you. 7:02 to play here in the second period. A 2-2 hockey game, and we're waiting to see what the penalties are right now. As Chitaroni in the box, so the Aeros are already going to be shorthanded. But I'll tell you what, Russ, could very easily be 2 men down if they decide to give an instigator for Kevin Grant.
You know, that would be that'd be kind of a cheesy call.
Sure.
My opinion is because Grant wasn't clearly one-sided, and if any of the guys on the ice, if Preston Giovanni or Williams or the referee Lego saw any of what I saw and explained to you a moment or two ago about how Grant and Snuggerud were going back and forth at each other, they know that he didn't instigate. That thing started, quite a while before that, and they end up calling Mario Chitaroni first, and then Snuggerud and Grant. The trip at center ice that I told you about, there's Snuggerud, and he just trips Kevin Grant clearly. And a couple of seconds later, as they come into the zone, Grant comes up from behind Snuggerud and just levels him. And from that point on, they each knew where the other one was, and they found each other at the stoppage and play.
Interference to Mario Chitaroni, so now Minnesota goes on the power play for the second time tonight, and they have the momentum.
So a couple of fighting penalties, no instigator, and Chitaroni's extra penalty, the interference call, is the one that's up on the board, and so the Aeros are shorthanded in a 2-2 game.
Moran, Curry, and Christian it'll be Sissons with Christian on the point and Scott Humanuk. Freer will be out there with Arneal, Townsend, Valamont, and Shargorodsky, but now Townsend's got to come back. I was wondering why the Aeros are bringing out 5 guys. They're shorthanded. Freer wins the draw, and it's snapped back to Shargorodsky, carried it over the line, had it stripped by Curry. Here is Dan Curry, left side, a pass for Christian, hand it back to Sissons across the line. Now Dave Christian moving in, he centered Curry with a one-timer, and Dobson may have gotten a piece of that one. Now it is Sissons in the corner, takes a whack from Shargorodsky. Arneal able to clear it out. Now back at his own blue line, it's Christian. He's forechecked by Freer. Great forechecking work there by Mark Freer. 1:34 left in the penalty. Freer doing a good job here.
Aeros lead the league with 10 shorthanded goals.
Now Moran, a pass at center for Sissons, wrapped up by Shargorodsky. Oleg left side trying to clear it. Now it's controlled nicely by Moran. Even through traffic, he's handling the puck with ease. Here is the puck finally picked up by Shargorodsky and blasted out at center. The Aeros with 1:10 remaining to kill off, and the penalty to Mario Chitaroni. 6:09 to go in the second. 2-2 hockey game. Humanuk weaving through center ice, trying to hit the line. He's wrapped up by Arneal, and Clayton Young's got a break. Clayton Young short-handed, pulls in and had it stripped away by Dave Christian. Now the the puck picked up by Humanuk. Humanuk right side, weaves right through Grant. Tippett takes him down. Whoop, knocked on the play. Humanuk wants a penalty, won't get it. And then the Moose offsides and play halted with 5:49 left in the second. 2-2 our score with 47 seconds left in Chitaroni's minor. And then Tippett wants to get in there and offer his 2 cents.
Sissons and Tippett, couple of 14s looking at each other. Clayton Young with a good chance. Short-handed as the play is broken up at the blue line by Scott Arneal, and he sends Young away. But Christian gets back quickly for the Moose. Christian takes an angle. Young tries to jump right over his stick and cut into the forehand and go right down the middle on Draper. But Christian take it away, and a veteran, Dave Christian, knows how to make those kind of plays.
Dave Tippett, Brian Pelham, Rob Robinson, and Steve Jenks defensively. Sean Young, Stu Gavin, Sean Williams with Kolstad and Olam. And a face-off at center ice as Pellerin trying to get his stick worked on. Nice shoulder look there over the left shoulder of Tom Draper at this face-off about to take place at center ice.
Moose have won 2 in a row, 5 of their last 6. They're a hot team coming in here, and the Aeros had them cooled off for a little while, but they've heated up again. We're 2-2.
Kolstad rolls it into Houston Aero territory. Olam at it, chopped away by Pellerin. Now going at it, Jakes. He's muscled in there by John Young. Olam base of the left circle. Olam still going at it. He and Pellerin trying to muscle in there. Pellerin turns. He'll flip it out at center ice. Remember, Aeros are still short-handed for another half minute. Back is Kolstad. In there is Tippett trying to jam the puck away, but turned around by Stu Gavin. He's got a goal in this game. Roll it over to Scott Humanuk and now John Young for Minnesota. He takes a bump from Dave Tippett. Olam trying to fire it into Houston Aero territory. Dobson out of the net. He'll slow behind the cage for Jakes. He's ramped up by Stu Gavin. Pellerin trying to play the puck away, and a nice job by Pellerin. He's able to clear it, and that will do it with 5 seconds remaining to Chitaroni and 5:05 to play in the second. We're tied at 2. Here's an interception by Pellerin, but he takes a check from Kravitz, and sticks get high between the two. Now Olam left side cuts in, centered it, but it was tipped away, and the team's back at 5-a-side. Here is Chitaroni 2-on-2 with Pellerin. Chitaroni across the line. Pellerin needing a line change, so Chitaroni now gives the puck to Hackborn. Within shooting, and a great save by Draper. Now Chitaroni, he misplayed it. Hackborn shoots right on Draper. A right pad save, and the puck goes into the corner. Oh, what a play by Chitaroni as he drew the defense to him and then sprung Hackborn. Now in the far corner, Chitaroni with 4.5 to play. Chitaroni plays the puck behind Hackborn, looks in front, trying to center it. Hackborn, he's wrapped up by Chris Miller. Now Eves digs it out, centered. Here's Shagarovsky shooting, fanned on it. Now Oleg again, ready to go with a drive. Draper the save, and the Moose come away, and we're going to get a penalty on the Minnesota Moose as Chitaroni, or is that Hackborn that's down? Len Hackborn was the one that was tripped up. No, it is Mario Chitaroni who was tripped up.
He was hit by Mikhail Kravitz. And it could be an interference call, but it is definitely going to be a power play for the Aeros. Chitaroni camped right on the doorstep there of Draper, and Kravitz came in and just knocked him down. Hit him pretty hard too. Mario is right standing in front, and boom, out of the corner comes Kravitz to take the man, not playing the puck, and that is an interference call, and it comes at 15:48.
So a face-off, top of the Fire circle, which is to the right side of Tom Draper. Freer, Arneal, Tippett, Valamont, and Townsend. So Tippett will play the left point with Carl Valamont. It'll be Freer, Arneal, and Townsend. And the Aeros with a power play goal here. Hey, put them back up on top 3-2. Get the momentum back.
Yeah, and late in the second period, that could be very, very important. They had a 2-goal lead. They've lost it. They're deadlocked at 2. Be great to grab one here.
Here's Dave Tippett now for Carl Valamont. Rolled it down for Arneal. Looks in front, cross ice pass, intercepted. Wrong guy to intercept it to was Moran, but now he gets clipped by Arneal with a high stick and a penalty coming up. Arneal mad at himself, and he knows that he'll go off.
Well, and as bad as the high stick is, and the fact that you gave up your power play and you're going to be even now, the fact is that long before that, the reason the penalty happened is because they gave the puck away. Bad pass up near the blue line. They had the power play and gave it away, and a soft pass that Moran intercepted.
1:48 left in the Kravitz minor, so 2 minutes up on the board to Scott Arneal. So when Kravitz's penalty erupts, then you'll got a 12-second power play for Minnesota as you see Arneal. Ooh,
that hurts. That hurts.
Close shave there. So it'll be Freer and Maurice with Jakes and Robinson. We'll go 4-on-4 for 1:48.
Our score sheet clean at the end of one period. So we got 4 goals up there in the second period. Scott Arniel, one of the goal scorers, and Dave Tippett the other for the Aeros. It is 2-2. Now they'll play even strength as Mark Freer steps into this face-off.
Here's Rob Robinson now. Back at his own blue line. Pass for Maurice. He'll try to tip one ahead. Christian intercepts that, but it's taken back by Jakes, and the Aeros bring it in. Jakes now across the line for Freer. He didn't go with a backhander, and he just sliced it wide of the net. Robinson, big drive, deflected right on. Draper had no clue where that was coming, but it hit him in the skate. Now into the far corner. First one there, Robinson pinching from a left point. Aeros, remember, 4-on-4 now for another minute 20. Here's Jakes. He pinches from the right point, but it's going to be Larry Olam who turns it around out at center ice. Oh, and tumbling forward. Jakes couldn't come up with it. Now Maurice brings it in over the blue line. Nice move, cutting in, dropped it back. Freer winds, waits, shoots right on. Draper, a kick save and a beauty. Here come the Minnesota Moose. Moran snapped it back. Hackstall shoots. Blocker saved by Dobson. Rebound in front. And a backhander by Christian steered away. And the Aeros come to center ice. Len Hackborn can't make the move around Olam. And Larry Olam now left side across the line. Olam had it jammed away by Valamon. In there looking for it was Sissons, but it's cleared by the Aeros. Under 3 to play here in the second. Tied at 2. Here's Curry across the line. Roll it to Kolstad. Shoots. And a glove saved by Dobson. And a nice play there. Doesn't give it the rebound as he had Curry in front. And we'll take time out. 2:43 to go in the second. Knotted at 2. We'll be right back. Along with Russ Small, Adam Gordon with you. It is a 2-2 hockey game. In 32 seconds, though, a 13-second power play for the Moose. Our next telecast, Thursday, January 26th, 7 o'clock, as the Milwaukee Admirals will be in town to take on the Houston Aeros. So be sure to join us for that. The Russ Small and myself, right here on the Aeros Broadcasting Network. Kevin Grant and Scott Arniel in the box, and you can see the penalties there. That's third period numbers, or that's, excuse me, game numbers. Off the face-off now. Shagarodski. Give it to Dave Tippett. Bumped away by Humanuk, but now the Aeros turn it around. Clayton Young, a pass just intercepted, and now taken back by Shagarodski. Oleg down the left side, fighting for it. Moran in there trying to lug it out of that scrub. They go at it, and here's a nice play for Tippett. Dave Tippett, sharp angle shot and blocked by Draper. And Stefan Moran throws it behind the net with 2:17 left here in the second. Now the Aeros, as it's shot down the ice, this will be icing, and the power play down to 10 seconds is back out on the ice is Michael Kravitz, and back to touch it. Icing, and the face-off comes back into Minnesota territory.
Got to be very careful there. There was that 13-second power play potential for Minnesota. The Aeros had to know just where they were, where the Moose were, where the puck was, when that penalty ended for the Moose and they got power play. As it was, the Moose fired it down ice, and it was an icing call, and so the play just kind of stopped there with 9 seconds left on the power play. But it is now a Minnesota power play, so the face-off will be in their defensive end.
Off the face-off now, the Moose have got it. Osiki, give it to Sean Williams, right back to Osiki, and now Chris Miller will bring it out. Boom one into Aero territory, hard around the glass. First one there, John Young, base of the right circle. He takes a check from Shagarodski. Now in there, it's Oleg, fished out Chitaroni, banks it high off the glass. It's out at center. 1:48 to play here in the second. 2-0 hockey game. Osiki rolls one ahead. Here comes Sean Williams across the line, shooting, and a blocker save by Rob Dobson. It'll rest in the corner for Valamont. He takes a check from Sean Williams, but Valamont able to roll it along. Osiki pinching Chitaroni, trying to clear it out of there. Cannot. Here is Young. He takes a check from Shagarodski. So now Oleg trying to muscle it free. Here's Mario Chitaroni around Sean Williams. Good work in the corner by the Aeros. Chitaroni, though, can't clear it. Gets it back. Second effort for Hackborn. He'll clear it out the center ice. 1:15 left here in this second period. And Oleg Shagarodski now behind the net. Bank one up the left side for Hackborn. Hits the line. Dumps it in. Near side. Kolstad back for it. He's sized up as Pellerin chases him. But here is a pass all the way down the ice, and the Aeros will go back to touch as Robinson's there, and this will be icing with 53 seconds to play here in the second. We're knotted at 2. Fans fans have your pencil and paper ready during the intermission, we'll tell you how you can order some great-looking Houston Aeros apparel from the comfort of your own home. That's coming up in the intermission, so stay tuned, please. We'll also have a chance. Barry Warner in the second intermission. We'll be chatting with Jerome Logan, who is the strength and conditioning coach for the Houston Aeros.
Do I have to play sumo hockey again in the second intermission?
No, and I was going to ask you, did you use Jerome for your training there?
I never got that. You know I was in a rigorous training regimen.
Well, today, I will say you came out early this morning. I don't know if Dan was out this morning. You came out this morning. We had a good workout. And actually, your skills came out with, like we said, the great defensive play and a good goal.
Yep, thank you very much.
Save that for Elvis night. Yeah, thank you. Here's a puck at center ice. Snuggerud shoots it in. Arrows around there to pick it up. Here's Steve Jakes now. Wrapped up by Gavin. Puck picked away by Kravitz. Now the Arrows in there with a battle. It's taken by Robinson. It skipped over his stick. Now Stu Gavin. Quick shot off the side of the net. Snuggerud waiting, playing peekaboo behind the net. Snuggerud with it. Center the pass. That's jammed away. Kravitz trying to work it out of there. Here's Snuggerud with Freer in a battle. It goes behind the net. Stu Gavin wrap around. That hit a leg. Picked up by Freer. Mark Freer now. Give it to the near side. Jakes has got it. Arrows trying to move it out of there with 10 seconds left. It's hoisted to center ice. Back into Moose territory. 5 seconds left, but the Arrows can't get the shot away. Here come the Moose now. Across the line. Jakes is there to reject it. And that'll do it for this second period. So the Arrows, who jumped out to a 2-0 lead, Russ, all of a sudden let it slip away. But a good period nonetheless.
Well, 2-2 at the end of 2. Who wants it more in the third period? We talked about how when you get them down, you got to put them out. They didn't do that, so they got to get them down again and try to do it better.
All right, Arrows and the Moose tied at 2, an outstanding second period. And when we return, we'll chat with the strength and conditioning coach of the Houston Aeros, Jerome Logan. That's next. More after this.
This gets you a group and a
2-2 hockey game here in the second period intermission. Not every player gets to suit up on game nights. And for those that come out on the ice for warm-ups before the game, while others get weight training, well, the Aeros strength and conditioning coach Jerome Logan's the man for them. And the team asked him to develop and implement a fitness program to help with stamina and conditioning. Players have been receptive to the program thanks in part to this ability. So Jerome, he's been a personal trainer and is a former semi-pro football player. So Barry Warner found out a little bit about him, and he knows what it takes to keep an athlete in top shape, and he's standing by with Jerome Logan.
Being that I have an athletic background, I know what they're going through. I know what to expect. I know how far to push an athlete. I know when to back off because I've been there before. It makes a big difference when you can relate to the guys and what you expect out of them. It's kind of like that saying of don't try to get somebody. You don't know what they're feeling. You don't know what they're experiencing. So I think it's a great asset when you've been there before and you know what to expect. You know what they're going through.
Were you surprised when you came to Houston and you found that the team had a strength and conditioning coach to help you not just in the weight room but also before and after the games?
Oh, absolutely. You don't see that very often, especially with the clubs that I've been with. It's kind of on your own, and you do it on your honor system. But here, Jerome takes care of us. He makes us do our programs, and it really pays off.
How important is stretching to prolonging your career?
Well, it's a big joke when you stretch. When you're stretching your groins and stuff like that, it's true. You are kind of stretching your career, and I've been doing a lot of stretching because I've played for 15 years now. But it does helps in preventing injuries, which as you get older they come a little easier and they're hard to get rid of. So by taking the time to do your stretching, you can have play 10, 12, 13, and in my case 15 years.
Thank you, Barry, and thank you, Jerome. And here it's a 2-2 hockey game, and it's an outstanding hockey game, and we'll have more from the Summit right after this. Welcome back to the Summit. Adam Gordon along with Russ Small. We're in the second period intermission, a 2-2 hockey game. And, I know the Aeros had a 2-0 lead, and although the Moose come back, still an outstanding period, I thought, for the Houston Aeros, but the Moose played well as well.
Both teams played well. It's been a game in which both teams have played well. The first period was well played. The Aeros got out very quickly, couldn't beat Draper, and then in the middle part of the first period, Minnesota came back but couldn't beat Dobson. We ended the first period scoreless. We end the second period 2-2, still even, anybody's game. It's been an exciting game. It's been physical. It's been wide open. There's been great scoring chances, great goaltendings. Great game you're watching tonight, folks.
The Aeros had a 2-0 lead, as we talked about. We'll take a look at the highlights of that second second period. We're not so sure if Arneal got this one, but he got credit for it as he will deflect this one nicely.
Grant the shot off Hackstall's skate. You can see that. Arneal skating in front may have gotten a piece of it and deflects it home. So he gets, at least for now, credit for that goal. And I think he probably got a piece of it. He seemed to react as if he knew he had put it in. Maybe Draper lets down his guard a little bit because Tippett comes back and from the circle blasts one by Tom Draper. And it's 2-0 Aeros at this point in time. But then a break in front and Dobson makes a save. He gets forced to make yet another save. And then one more save. Can he make it? No. And it's 2-1.
So another look at it is Stu Gavin able to kind of jam it by there. And then one that was not a questionable goal in our minds. I mean, one that maybe everybody thought because the light never came on. But Scott Humanuk right here jams one in there, and he ties the game at 2.
Well, it comes from the left of Dobson to his right, gets inside the post, across the goal line, hits at an angle that it comes out so quickly the goal judge doesn't put the light on, but the referee saw it right away. There was no hesitation. He said, that's a goal, and we're tied at 2.
So the Aeros and the Moose tied at 2. Arneal for the Aeros along with Dave Tippett, and for the Minnesota Moose, Humanuk and Stu Gavin. And once again, you know, you look at the scoring summary there. Scott Arneal at 242 from Kevin Grant and Carl Valamont. Dave Tippett at 404 from Steve Jakes and Mike Maurice. That gave the Aeros the 2-0 lead, but the Moose come back at 10 minutes, 10 seconds. Stu Gavin, his second goal as a Moose, 4th of the year. Snuggerud and Kravitz on the assist. Then at 11 minutes, 12 seconds, Scott Humanuk from Stefan Moran and Dan Curry.
Well, a couple of good periods, as we said at the top. We got 20 minutes of hockey left, or maybe more. Last time these guys met in this building, we went to a shootout. The Aeros have been involved in so many shootouts this year. That could happen again, but we're hoping the Aeros play a great third period and end this one in regulation.
Okay, we understand we're having a little video technical. 2-2 hockey game. Adam Gordon along with Russ. Small second period intermission. And let's take a quick look at those second period stats. And the Aeros out shooting Minnesota 32-26. 30 saves for Tom Draper, 24 for Rob Dobson. Minnesota 0 for 3 on the power play. The Aeros 0 for 2 on the man advantage. 4 penalties for Minnesota for 14 minutes. 5 penalties for 60 minutes for the Houston Aeros. And that is how things stack up after 40 minutes of play. When we return, third period action. Don't go away. We'll have more right after this. And there's Rob Dobson leading his troops out, and there's a look right there of one of the Aeros jerseys. But the Aeros right now in a nail-biter 2-2. And, you know, the Aeros next goal, very key for either team. You know, it was funny, as a tight played first period, good defensive first period, we kind of saw things open up much better in that second period.
But even in that first period, Adam, plenty of scoring chances. Between the two, there were 29 shots on goal in that first period, so it's not like everybody was in a shell. And at this point through 2 periods, there have been 58 shots on goal between the two, 32-26. And so that's a whole night's work there when you get 58 shots on goal through a couple of periods. But you know what? I don't expect either of these teams to go into a shell here in the third period. I bet you we get a bunch of scoring chances, and I hope the guys in the throwback uniforms, the Aeros, get a couple of goals.
In our effort to educate Houston on the fastest growing sport in America, the Houston Aeros will be hosting 2 weeks of hockey camps this summer. The camps will run for 1 week each, June 5th through June 10th and June 12th through June 17th. Goalies Rob Dobson and Troy Gamble. There'll be defenseman Curtis Hunt, and then right winger Graham Townsend. They'll be the instructors for both weeks with special guest appearances throughout the camp. For more information on the camps, please call 621-2842 or visit the Aerodrome table on the concourse right here at the Summit. So you got to come down here to a hockey game to do it, or, you know, just call the Aeros at 621-2842. After watching Russ today, I don't think you need it. I think you could be an instructor the way you played today.
Thank you, pal. You mean up here tonight or this morning?
Well, both.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You have to have played the game to know the game.
Okay. Teach me, oh wise one.
Yes, I will. We should have a terrific third period here. And I'm telling you, I'm not giving you painting you a picture that doesn't exist here, folks. This has been a great hockey game. It's been exciting. It's been great for the fans. Scoring chances, great saves, 4 goals, great hits, a couple of little minor bouts. It's had everything, and it's 2-2 going into the third.
A win tonight for the Aeros puts them at least in a tie with Kansas City for second place, and would leapfrog them past Atlanta. So a this is a big game for the Houston Aeros. If they lose it, then they're only 3 points up on Minnesota. In the 4th spot is the puck now back in Minnesota territory. We start the 3rd with Freer, Arniel, and Townsend. Puck near side. Arniel trying to dig it out of there for Mark Freer. He'll center it. Townsend turns, trying to get the shot away. Arniel right in at goal. Oh, and he flipped a backhand just wide of the cage. Now in the corner, Arniel shouldering Moran. Stefan Moran and Scott Arniel going at it. Here is Graham Townsend now. Flipped it down. The Aeros trying to move it out in front. What a marvelous opportunity to start the 3rd. Now Moran snapped the pass for Curry. Wine shoots, booming drive way wide of the net. And here come the Houston Aeros. Rob Robinson trying to hit the line. He's got it. The Aeros offsides, and the faceoff will come back to center ice with 51 seconds played in the 3rd, tied at 2.
That last move Robinson made just before the blue line, that's what threw it off and set the play in offside. Townsend with a great job out front. He finally realizes he's not going to spin and get a shot. He makes a nice backhand pass a couple of moments ago to Scott Arniel, who gets a shot just wide. Good pass by Graham Townsend. Didn't try to force the shot when he couldn't make it. Found an open man.
Here come the Moose now. Hackstall at center. Shoots it in there, and Dobson got a piece of it. Now in the near corner, Michael Kravitz trying to move it along. He centered it. Here's Snuggerud to drive. Blocked. The Aeros trying to get it out between the circles. And out to center ice comes Murray Eves. Eves, left wing. He'll boom one into Minnesota territory. First one there is Shargorodsky. Oleg carries behind the net. Oleg trying to center one. And finally it's pumped into the corner. Oleg in a battle with Hackstall, and the Moose will come away with it. Shargorodsky was pinching, so Hackborn back defensively. Here's Michael Kravitz now, right side. Can't move it around Valamont. Carl does a nice job to stand him up and knock him to the ice. Tip it to center for Hackborn. Looks for Eves. Hits the line. Eves dropped it for Hackborn. Sharp angle shot right on, and there was Draper to make the stop. And he'll hand it for Stu Gavin behind the net. 2-2 hockey game. Larry Olam. A pass for Hackstall at center ice. Hackstall flipped it into Aero territory. Out of the net, it's Rob Dobson. He'll slow it for Robinson, and now the Aeros will play it. Jakes, center ice, Pellerin tipped it into Minnesota territory. Humanuk is back. He'll boom it off the glass. It's out at center ice for John Young. Lead pass intercepted by Jakes, and he will turn it around left wing. Jakes trying to move it ahead. That's intercepted by Sissons. Lead pass just missing Sean Williams as he kind of zigged when the pass had zagged. Here is Pellerin. Shoots it in and will bounce to Tom Draper, and the Moose are there. Sissons trips it up the left wing, and here come the Minnesota Moose. John Young for Scott Humanuk. Humanuk walks right around Jake, shoots right on. Dobson the save, and he'll hold on. 2.5 played here in the 3rd, tied at 2.
Humanuk has a goal in the 2nd period. He went bidding for one here in the 3rd. Made a good dipsy-doodle move around Steve Jakes. But he couldn't take it all the way in. Goes to his right and just kind of flips it up. And Dobson seeing it all the way. Wasn't really a hard shot or a tough save, but sometimes those will handcuff you. Dobson made a catch and held on to it as 11,282 folks in attendance here at the Summit applauded and cheer on the Aeros in a 2-2 game with 17:27 to play.
Face off in the circle to the right side of Rob Dobson, Freer, Arniel, and Townsend with Shargorodsky and Valamont.
The Aeros 3rd in the league in attendance to Detroit and Chicago. It'll be interesting to see what happens to the attendance in Detroit and Chicago when their NHL teams come back to play. Will they put a hurt on the 2 International Hockey League teams, or have they established a strong enough fan base with the product they put on the ice in those buildings? I believe they probably have a strong enough fan base to keep their own fans regardless of what the Red Wings and the Blackhawks are doing.
Well, we got a little bit of a delay here, and I don't know what the call is. Dave Snuggerud unhappy about something, talking with Mike Lego, the referee, and the linesman here. I don't know. He's not happy right now. Well, Minnesota, Dave Hackstall is getting misconduct. I don't know what about. Frank Serratori wants to know what the call's for.
Hackstall must have done something or said something. Snuggerud is arguing. All the Moose are arguing. Frank Serratori demanding an explanation. And so far he hasn't gotten one, but Hackstall been thrown out of the game with a game misconduct.
I don't know if he said something, but usually that's only 10 minutes. I don't know what the game misconduct would be for.
Maybe he said it twice.
He's got a game. He's done for the night. I mean, usually when you say something, I very rarely see a game misconduct called. And I don't know why. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. We will try to find out from downstairs. Certainly the Minnesota Moose don't know why. And finally coming over to his bench is Dave Snuggerud to explain to Frank Serratore, the coach, what call was made by the referee Mike Lego. Having a little chat with Graham Townsend, explaining it to him. Serratore by now has received the explanation. Doesn't look too upset about it, but doesn't look all that happy about it either.
Well, we're told now that maybe he ran into or hit one of the linesmen. That would get you a game misconduct, but I don't know why he would have hit a linesman. There wasn't a situation unless he felt maybe there was a penalty that should have been called, or maybe the offsides play he was a little upset about. I don't know. Here's a puck now controlled. Yeah, now we're told that he hit a linesman.
Well, that'll get you a gamer.
Yep. Here's Dave Christian now across the line, trying to slice through the check of Arneal, and it's quickly turned around, and the Moose once again are offside. That's a big loss for Minnesota, one of their better defensemen. So with 17:05 to play in the third, tied at 2, he'll watch from the rest in the locker room.
Could be a big loss for the Aeros, too. Remember that Scott Arneal goal was deflected towards the goal off the skate of Dave Axtell, and then Arneal tipped it home.
Face off at center ice now with Snuggerud, Kravitz, and Gavin with Osiki, and also out there defensively with Chris Miller. Top of the puck, Aeros have got it. Here is Oleg Shargorodsky, pass to the right side, Balamont swinging out at center ice. Aeros trying to advance it. Shargorodsky back again. Here is Dave Tippett now turning along the near side. He's whacked along the boards by Snuggerud. Stu Gavin was in there trying to fish it out of there. It's in skates. Kravitz getting roughed up a little bit by Shargorodsky, and now it's picked up by Balamont. Carl Balamont gets a pass for Hackborn, left side, skating into the zone, but that's rejected by Osiki, and now the Moose. Here's Snuggerud, pulls up, waits, centered the pass, and it went wide. Down in there is Stu Gavin battling with Chitaroni. Mario works it up for Tippett, and he'll bank a pass to center. Here is Hackborn, rolls it into Minnesota territory with 3.5 gone in the third period, tied at 2. Tippett behind the net, has no one to pass to though. Tippett still with a puck, now centered. Here's Young shooting. Oh, and he banged on it partially, but it changed direction, and Draper down to make the save. I don't think Clayton Young got as good a shot away as he wanted to, but yet it changed direction, and Draper made a fine stop.
No question he didn't get as good a shot away as he wanted to. He's only standing there 15 or 18 feet in front of the goal. I think he did partially fan on it. He takes it in front. He tries to give a quick flip, and it just slides under his stick. He gets it on goal. It does change direction on the way as it goes off the Minnesota Moose standing there, defenseman Scott Humanick, but he could not beat Tom Draper, and the Aeros and the Moose continue tied at 2.
Face off to the left of Draper. Here's Grant, a drive high on Draper, and he'll glove it and hold on. Just about 4 minutes played in the third, tied at 2.
These teams have played a couple of shootouts with each other this year, with the Aeros winning in Minnesota and the Moose winning here at the Summit on December the 9th.
Face off to the left of Tom Draper. Young, Pellerin, Maurice against Sissons, Young, and Williams. And the Moose win it. Sean Williams, left side. He'll skate it out at center ice. Sean Williams hits the line. Williams can't move around Grant. Still fighting for the puck. It comes down for Robinson. He will turn and swing it out the center ice. And here is Clayton Young. Gallops into the Minnesota zone. Went around Kolstad. Backhander kicked out of there by Draper. Moose clear it back at center ice.
What both teams have had so far here in this period, Adam, is they've been making sure there's a forward drifting back. Nobody's getting caught up. They always have a forward back, so there's no 3-on-2 or 2-on-1 rush into the zone.
2-2 hockey game, more after this. Welcome back to the Summit. Adam Gordon, Russ Small, and a face-off to the left of Tom Draper.
And hockey fans of all ages here in the building tonight enjoying this game.
Face-off won by the Aeros. Here is Jake's big drive. Pinball right on Draper. Somehow got a save on that. Had a right pad on it. Now Jakes hustles back into his own zone, pursued by Dan Curry. Jakes in behind the net now. He will turn it up the left side. Jakes to Arneal. Rolls it in, but that's broken up by Moran. Now Osiki gave it away. The shot. Score! Mark Friend!
of this season in that zone. When he makes the play, he puts it home. But lately it wasn't happening for him. Maybe it's a break that will make it happen as he picks up a loose puck right in front, swings around and puts it in by Draper for a 3-2 Aeros lead.
Puck is back into Moose territory. Here's Jakes, booms one back in there. And now with 5 minutes gone in the third, Aeros lead it 3-2. It's shot down the ice, and icing is the call as Valamont back to touch it. 3-2 Aeros, 15:02 to play in the third.
Now in 7 games against Minnesota this year, Mark Freer has 7 goals. That, math fans, is a goal a game. But he's also had, prior to tonight, 2 2-goal games against Minnesota. So maybe he's got another one on that stick here tonight.
It's 3-2 in favor of Houston. We'd like to welcome the viewers of the San Antonio Spurs Miami Heat game. Here's a 3-2 lead in favor of the Aeros as they just got a goal from Mark Freer. And now the Moose dump it back in. Out of the net. It's slowed by Rob Dobson. Now back to get it. There's Sharkarovsky trying to turn around. Snuggerud trying to center it, but that's broken up, and the Aeros trying to come. Oh, Chitaroni lost an edge, crashed and burned, but he's able to get it back. Here's Mario Chitaroni across the line. Hackborn, long shot kicked out of there by Draper. Chitaroni trying to center it, but it just missed. Len Hackborn back to the line. Sharkarovsky rolled one in. That's blocked by Olam, and Tippett's back at center ice. Dave Tippett carries it across the line. Tippett rolls it into the zone. Give it to Hackborn. Base of the right circle. Hackborn for Tippett. Dave Tippett turning, waiting, shooting right on Draper. Right hand save. Get that baby out of here. And the Moose come to center ice. Marvelous save by Draper. Now Snuggerud trying to hit the line, but the Aeros able to sweep it out of there.
Great deflection in front by Chitaroni on that Tippett shot, and he almost did deflect it by Draper. What a great save and a great play by Chitaroni and Tippett.
Moose in a line change, but the Aeros making changes as well as Clayton Young fires a shoulder on Kolstad. Well, the Moose will come away. 13:52 to go in the third. Aeros with a 1-goal lead. Here's a pass intercepted by Pellerin. He'll shoot it back in. Draper will come out to play it. Tom Draper out of the net. He'll reverse it to the near side. And the first one there is Dean Kolstad for Minnesota. Kolstad carries up the gut. Dean Kolstad. A pass misses John Young. This should be icing if the Aeros get back. Jakes is there. He'll play it. And that is icing and play whistle down. So 13 and a half to play here in the third period. It's the Aeros 3 and the Moose 2.
So very, very important to have gotten that third goal to grab the lead back here in the third period. The Aeros have played so well tonight. They had a 2-goal lead that disappeared. To come up with that third goal was terrific. Chitaroni with the deflection moments ago off the Tippett shot and making Draper make a save as he's being knocked to the ice by Larry Olam. Chitaroni redirects that shot, but Draper was equal to that task, and so it remains 3-2 in favor of the Aeros. 13:30 to play here at the Summit.
Face off controlled. Here is Jakes now. Looked for the shot. Now hands it over to Pellerin. Now the puck controlled by John Young. Here's the puck controlled by the Minnesota Moose now. Moving up the right side, Chris Miller. Right wing boards. Fired it over to Sean Williams. And back to get it is Rob Dobson. Now to the near side for Robinson. Carries it up the left side. Give it to Maurice. Bumped by Osiki. And now Sean Williams turns it around. There's Clayton Young starting to use the body a little bit here. And got clipped with a high stick right in the referee's line of sight. I don't think he saw it though. Now the puck picked up by Houston. Here is Brian Pellerin across the line. Pellerin for Houston. Dropped it back. Maurice cuts in. Rolled it over for Young. That's blocked. Now fighting for it. Jakes fished it through skates. Clayton Young rolled it to the far corner. Now Pellerin. He's got the work boots on for Clayton Young, but he handed it right to Sissons. A no-look drop pass. And now Sissons at center. Rolled it for Moran, but it went right to Clayton Young. He'll boom it back into Minnesota territory as the Aeros make some changes. 12:22 to go here in the third. 3-2 hockey game. Aeros lead it at center. Here's Moran across the line. Moran, great move, but he went without the puck. Now centered it, but the first one back Arneal. Here is Scott Arneal. Lead pass for Freer, who's got the go-ahead goal. But Larry Olam trying to turn it around. Sharkarovsky is in there. They continue to go at it, and finally play is whistled down. We got a clarification, Russ, I think, on that misconduct to Dave Hackstall.
Well, it's exactly really as you indicated earlier that it would be. That misconduct to Hackstall was using physical force against an official. In other words, pretty much as we told you earlier, he bumped one of the linesmen. You're not allowed to do that, of course. And for doing so, you get an early shower. Game misconduct for Hackstall. So he was sent out earlier in this third period. The Aeros with 12 minutes to play lead 3-2.
Puck is in Minnesota territory. It's banked out to center ice. When we get a next chance, I want to read you an interesting stat. But here's Moran back across the line. That's offside. I want to read you an interesting stat here. Well, we'll read it to you when we return. We'll take time out. 3-2 Aeros. We'll have more after this.
Thursday, the Houston Aeros rock 101
Welcome back to the Summit. Adam Gordon along with Russ. Small 3-2 hockey game and a quick look now at the Coors Light upcoming schedule. Early flight tomorrow. The Aeros are at Denver. 8 o'clock start. That game will be heard on KNUZ Radio and Paramount Channel 20. Then Saturday radio only from Atlanta. And then the Aeros come back on Friday, January 20th for the All-Star break. Against Milwaukee. Here's a quick shot by Olin, blocked. Clayton Young, or make it to Kevin Grant rather, clears it. Now Arneal with Freer. Arneal trying to move it around. Freer's got it. Freer pulls up left side now, makes the dipsy doodle move around Olin, cuts right in on goal. Wine shoots, kick saved by Draper, and now the Moose trying to clear Kanat. Shagarodsky held it in, booms one down for Arneal, base of the right circle. Arneal centered one for Townsend. Graham Townsend, who's had a tremendous amount of chances tonight, and it's finally coughed up in Stefan Moran, barreling down the left side. That's popped away. Puck lobbed, and now the Aeros catching the Moose in a line change. Here is Freer across the line, trying to drop it for Arneal, and finally Townsend shooting, and he ripped the bullet just wide of the net. Now Robinson jammed it around the net. It'll go to the far side for Dan Curry. He will clear it out to center ice. 9 minutes gone in the third. A 3-2 hockey game. Aeros lead it out of the net. Rob Dobson leaves it for Robinson. Quick pass for Chitaroni, and he will bank it out at center for a breaking Len Hackborn, who had it skip over his stick. Hackborn working hard with Stu Gavin as they go barreling into the corner. Now Chitaroni in there to have a look at it. Gavin, tossed it behind his net. Here's Osiki now for Minnesota. Can't clear. Robinson held it in. Left point down for Tippett in the corner. After it's Chitaroni. Give it back. Tippett working hard. Base of the left circle. Centered it. Here's Hackborn. Can't get the shot away as he's still wrapped up by Stewie Gavin. Now in there it is Chitaroni. He takes a bump from Kolstad. They continue to scrum it out along the end boards. In there it's Hackborn hemmed in there by Stu Gavin. Puck frozen play. Whistle down. 3-2 Aeros. 10:17 to go.
Don't want to see the Aeros go into a shell. Don't want to see them trying to sit on a one-goal lead with 10:17 to play, but I do want them to be cognizant of the fact that they have a one-goal lead, and they don't have to take the kind of chances that pretty soon Minnesota will have to take. They got a good chance. I think I'm up to about $1.50 now on Graham Townsend. He's skated very well tonight. He's played a good game. He's been all over the ice. He said had a bunch of chances. He set up other guys with chances. He's been involved in the play a lot. All you can ask a guy is skate well and be involved. Be there. He's been there. He just can't get a break and get the puck in the net.
Face off to the right of Tom Draper. Young will be tossed out, so it'll be Maurice. It's Young, Maurice, and Pellerin with Shagarodsky and Balamont. Top of the puck. Aeros had it, then lost it. Sean Williams banked one, but not out. Now Pellerin fighting for it, but Larry Olam has got it for Minnesota. Snapped the pass at center. That went off a skate. Pellerin chopping at it. Young trying to advance it as Williams and Maurice shoulder in there. Now Pellerin and Maurice go at it some more. Puck still along the boards. And now Clayton Young trying to bring it over the line. Says, nope, we'll give it to Balamont, and he'll swing it into Minnesota territory. Draper out of the net now. Slows it for Chris Miller. Miller now. Pass to the left side for Olam. Trying to clear it. It's out at center ice is Clayton Young. Tell you what, he's had 3 or 4 outstanding open ice hits as finally we get a whistle on a 2-line pass and play whistle down. Face-off back in Minnesota territory. 9:42 to go in the third. 3-2 hockey game. Aeros lead it.
We talked about the standings earlier and the importance of this game. You want to keep the Moose off your tail. Keep them from catching you. They're trying to catch. They're just 5 points behind. But by the same token, you're looking at the teams in front of you. Which way do you want to look? You want to look behind you or look in front of you? Milwaukee with a pretty solid hold on the Central Division lead. But then Kansas City, Atlanta, and Houston all within 2 points. Give the Aeros 2 points tonight. They jump right up to move into a tie with Kansas City, jump over Atlanta. They got Atlanta coming up on this little road trip. They could open up a little more daylight. They've been a good road team, but it all starts with this one here tonight. The Aeros trying to win their second straight.
Puck is in Aero territory, and Robinson now. He'll clear it out at center. 9:28 to go here in the third. 3-2 Houston. Puck at center ice. Kolstad gives it to Moran. He's in alone, but a great defensive play by Robinson. Did the Russ small lunge, and now it's turned around by Houston. It's brought in by Townsend. He looked like you did there in the sumo hockey, just lunging for it. Now the puck locked up by Humanuk. Curry able to clear it. Christian now hits the line with Moran. Stefan Moran waiting, dropped it back. Curry, but that's broken up by Arneal. Now Dan Curry, his sticks get high between Arneal and Moran. They continue to joust at it. Long shot, and Dobson the save. 8:50 left as we've got Arneal now going at it some more with Moran. Are they going to go? Here's a puck now. I'd love to see Arneal go. Are they going to drop the mitts? They're talking. They're still talking. Play going on. Gavin in over the line, and finally they separate, and there's Dobson to cover up. I'll tell you what, Scott Arneal might be one of the more underestimated fighters in the IHL. Don't kid yourself. He can throw them with the best.
Well, you know what? So can his 5-year-old son. we were out skating a little bit this morning. You came out, and I was out there. Brendan Arneal was out there, and you and he got into it a little bit, and he dropped you.
Well, he jumped me. He jumped me, Russ. Give me a break.
Scott Arneal and Stefan Moran. I'm not sure who might have benefited if these guys went out for a while. Moran clearly the leader of the Moose, but Arneal playing a good game and has a goal for the Aeros tonight. Scott Arneal, an all-star. Stefan Moran, an all-star. They'll probably laugh about that next week in Las Vegas.
Here is Hackborn across the line, looking for Chitaroni, trying to move around Chris Miller. He shaded off the puck. Now Tippett makes a great move, and a penalty coming up. What a veteran move by Dave Tippett. He went around another veteran, and Stu Gavin introduced him to a deke to the left, went around him like a hoop on a barrel, and all Gavin could do was knock him down, and a penalty to Gavin, and the Aeros will be on the power play.
This probably will be holding. I think all he could do is grab a hold of Dave Tippett, who stepped around him. First Chitaroni gets a chance, and then Tippett makes a move. He just flings the puck forward, tries to step around Gavin, who grabs him and throws him to the ice. And the call is holding with 8:18 to play. It is an Aero power play chance, and they lead 3-2.
Stu Gavin started the year with Kansas City. Really didn't get a lot of ice time, didn't perform too well, but his new home in Minnesota, he's played very well tonight especially. I think he's been a very effective hockey player for Minnesota. He's given the Aeros some fits here tonight. Here's the puck controlled by Sharnorodsky. Aeros on the power play. Third time tonight. Hackborn, right wing board, back for Tippett. Line, shoot, deflected line. Rebound behind the net. Chitaroni trying to center it. He's pinned by Miller. Now Hackborn back to the line. Balamont, give it. Sharnorodsky, long shot, deflected, rebounded, but here's Chitaroni. Your score! Lenny Hackborn! Second goal of the year! 4-2 hockey game.
The thing he did right, Adam, was find a spot. He didn't panic. He didn't panic when the puck was there, and he was there, and he knew he was right near the goal, and just fire it without thinking. He saw that Draper was down. He took his time. He had time enough to see the goaltender down, and then went up top. Right here. He knows what's going on. He waits, and then he sees the goaltender down and knows he's got the whole top side, and he puts it up there. A guy with less experience might have got so hyped up, so tense right there, that he just flings it along the ice, and it would not have made it by Draper, but he takes his time, and he finds a spot up top, and he puts it home.
And a great move, because I think a split second later, if he held it, then Sean Williams may have had him tied up from behind.
Perfect timing, and a 4-2 Aeros lead with a power play goal by Len Hackborn.
Now we're back to action. Larry Olam fires it into Houston Aero territory. Dobson slows. Rob Robinson along the boards for Arneal. Takes a check from Humanuk. Here's Christian, right point slap shot. Hit a skate of Freer, and it's turned around by the Houston Aeros. Mark Freer across the line, and it's flipped away. Humanuk trying to clear it. It's given away. Townsend rated on goal. Shooting great. Saved by Draper, and now Russ, you're up to $1.75. Here is Curry trying to center it, and that's jammed away by Rob Dobson. At a quarter a chance. Oh man, Townsend playing great. Here's a puck knocked in front. Curry shoots. Oh, flipped it just wide of the net as we're going to get a penalty. Here's the drive right on, and there was Dobson.
Dobson won again. Oh my! And while they sort this out, Minnesota on the power play when we return. 4-2 Houston.
4-2 in favor of the Aeros. Almost 5-2. We've been talking about what a great game Graham Townsend is playing. Little backhander. Watch how he twirls his body around, gets the backhander. Draper robs him again. It's the 7th or 8th chance that he has had. Dobson on the other end makes a save and then a save and then a save. Look at this shot just trickle wide of the net. And this play is not over yet. It comes back out in front. Another save with the glove along the ice by Dobson. But then the penalty is called on the Aeros, and they will be shorthanded. It is Rob Robinson sent out, and power play Minnesota.
Locked down to the near side. Stefan Moran. Right wing boards getting set. Chipped it back. Christian wide shoots. Glove save. Dobson. He'll hold on.
And you know, all those saves Draper has made and continues to make. We've still got almost 7 minutes to play. The fact that it's not 5-2 is important. Minnesota getting a power play here. They're just thinking, hey, we got 2 minutes. Let's get one, and then we still got 4 or 5 minutes to try to get an equalizer and get at least a point out of a shootout and all that. There's all sorts of strategy that's going on right now. But Draper has to keep making saves for Minnesota to give them a chance to come back in the game, and Dobson has to keep making saves like that to make sure the Moose don't come back.
Here's Carl Valamont. He'll wing it all the way down the ice. You know, it's too bad, you know, when you try and pick the 3 stars. Tonight, I'd love to give Carl Valamont a 4th star. I think he's played an outstanding game tonight. Here's Scott Humana. Had it chipped away.
When a team plays well and plays as well as they are, Adam, you're supposed to have more than 3 good players on any given night if you're going to be a good team. And tonight has been one of those nights where so many guys have played well, they all could deserve a star.
Even though they've given up those 2 goals after going up 2-0, realistically speaking, they're putting in a full effort tonight.
Well, give the Minnesota Moose credit. Yeah. These aren't guys just off the frozen pond somewhere. These are professional hockey players. They don't just come out for a little skate here at night. They're out there doing good work too.
Here's Dave Christian now. Get it out to Dean Kolstad at center. Cross ice pass for Sean Williams. That's picked away by Grant. Right back down the ice it goes. 49 seconds remaining in the Moose power play. Larry Olin. Give it to Dean Kolstad right side. Hands it to Sean Williams, but Kolstad got it back. We're under 6 to play in the 3rd. Glad to have you with us tonight from the Summit. I'm Adam Gordon along with Russ Small. It has been an outstanding hockey game from the drop of the puck in the 1st period. Now Minnesota's got it. In the near side, Sean Williams. Batted around by Kevin Grant. Now on the right side, here is John Young. Top of the slot. Olin back for Young. Sweeps it down. Snuggerud. Base of the right circle for Young. John Young cuts it down. Snuggerud with 5:28 to go. They've got 15 on the power play. Olin for Snuggerud. Wide. Shoots. Right pad. Saved by Dobson. Kolstad now for Young. Cuts it down to the near corner. Snuggerud. He's worked on by Kevin Grant. Get it back to the line. Olin is now. The Aeros have filled out the penalty. 5 aside. Snuggerud a drive. Dobson save. Rebound. Dobson makes the save, and he will hold on with 5:05 to go in the 3rd. And a 4-2 hockey game.
Minnesota not rolling over. They're putting pressure on Rob Dobson. The key here is do not give them anything easy. Make them work for it. The Aeros have a 2-goal lead. Dobson making a couple of big saves. The second one coming off the stick of Sean Williams. Minnesota is playing its 5th game in 8 days, and they're just starting at 3 games in 3 days stretch. It's a team that's got to be a little tired. Do not give them anything easy. Don't make a mistake and hand one away. If they're going to put any pressure on Dobson, make them work for it. There's 5:05 to play, and the Aeros lead by 2.
Face off. In the Aeros zone as a shot just sizzles wide, and now the puck controlled by Minnesota. Out of the net, Dobson. He says, I'll clear it myself. I want to get involved here. And now it is Murray Eves across the line. Eves drop Pellerin, and he'll dump it into the near corner. Now the puck near side for Maurice. Terrell Pellerin now. Batted in there by Moran. He's played a good game tonight. And it's finally shot to the line, not out. Held in by Jakes, trying to slam it down. And here is Murray Eves working hard, grinding it out with Chris Miller. Maurice has got it, trying to center it for Pellerin. A backhander blocked by Osiki, and it's given away. Here's Maurice with a shot, ricocheted wide of the net. Maurice fighting for the loose puck. or make it eaves rather, for Maurice now. Mike Maurice scoots it back to the line for Carl Valamont, trying to find Eaves. It'll go behind for Pellerin. He looked to center it, but Chris Miller's got him wrapped up. And now it is Stefan Moran. Moran with a puck up the left side, and he will hoist that high in the air and get it for the line change. 4-2 hockey game, 4 minutes to go.
One of the keys, I think, tonight, the Minnesota Moose, after that most recent power play, 0 for 4 tonight with the man advantage.
Puck back in Minnesota territory. Here's Humanuk now. They say no icing as it's waved off. It was initially indicated, now waved off. Scott Sissons weaving through Hackborn up the right side, trying to clear Sissons, knocked down by Tippett. Dave Tippett along the near side. Roll it for Mario Chitaroni. Looks in front. Now Len Hackborn, base of the left circle for Dave Tippett behind the cage. Looks for Chitaroni. Here's Tippett, backhander. Draper may have gotten a piece. I don't think that made it to him. It looked like I was kind of screened on it. The Moose to center. Sissons tipped it into Aero territory with 3:20 to play here in the third, and Kevin Grant with a big hit along the boards. And here is Mario Chitaroni now. Chitaroni carries the puck across the line. Chitaroni just dumps it in. The Aeros in no hurry here now with a 2-blot lead with 3 minutes to go.
Good play by Chitaroni. Killed a little time and then dumped it in. Got a line change up, so fresh Aeros on the ice.
Here is Snuggerud across the line, trying to drop it back. Freer batted it out, but not out of the zone. Now to Lariola, left point. Wine shoots, and that just sliced wide of the net. And Arneal, he's able to clear it all the way down the ice. Icing indicated, but it won't cross the line. Lariola turns it at center. And back is Scott Arneal. 2:42 left. Here is Graham Townsend. He'll flip it into Minnesota territory. And here is Chris Miller for the Moose. Up the left side. Ooh, almost gave that away to Townsend. And here is Stu Gavin now trying to waltz around Carl Valamont. Now Snuggerud left side, dancing down, getting set, hands it back. Stewie Gavin, long shot, glove by Dobson. He'll hold on, and we'll take timeout. 2:22 to go in the third. Aeros by 2. From 4-2 hockey game, 2:22 left here in the third. Adam Gordon along with Russ Small, and our next telecast once again Thursday, January 26th at 7 o'clock. The Admirals against the Aeros. Do you not think maybe Milwaukee would like to avenge last Saturday's game?
Oh, I do think they would like to avenge Saturday's game, in which the Aeros blew a 3-goal lead, but won the game on the road in a shootout. You know Milwaukee will be coming in here with revenge on their mind.
I should add a note. One of the things we featured in the telecast on Paramount 20 was the fact Tony Herkus, their leading scorer, did not make the All-Star team. It was announced today now. He will replace Jason Ruff as a shot right on. Dobson the save. He'll clear it out to center ice. Now Townsend had a chance but couldn't. So Jason Ruff, who was with the Atlanta Knights, couldn't make it. And now Tony Herkus has been added to the roster for the All-Star team. Now the open net as the Moose, an extra attacker, 6-on-5 is Draper on the bench. Puck dumped in. Aeros after it. Jake's trying to bat it out of there. He and Curry go at it in the corner. It's a 2-goal lead for the Aeros with under 2 minutes to play. And Freer can't clear. Now Jakes will send it to the near side, and Arneal will turn and spin it out to center. Puck on edge to the empty net. No, Kolstad got there. Here is Curry. He'll flip it into Aero territory. Back is Kevin Grant, and he will turn, hoist that high in the air, and it will check up at center. Here's Chris Miller now. Pass for Snuggerud. Ooh, the Moose changing now. Stu Gavin with 1:25 left. Cross ice pass for Chris Miller across the line. Picked away by Kevin Grant. Grant turns toward the empty net, but his shot is blocked by Dave Christian. Here's a pass at center ice from Stefan Moran. Shoots it into Aero territory. Curry battling with Pellerin. It fires in behind the net. And now Snuggerud kicked it along the boards. Curry's got it. Slams it along the boards. Here is Stefan Moran, but finally Maurice has got it. Can't clear. It was held in, but a second effort finally batted out of there. Here is Miller now with under a minute to go in this hockey game. Aeros are going to win it, and they're going to win it and make it 2 in a row. As the puck high off the glass, it'll bounce at center. And hopefully we're going to talk with Rob Dobson and Mario Chitaroni tonight. Stay with us. Here's Pellerin left side for the Aeros. Dumps the puck in. Larry Olin is back. 38 seconds left. Olin for Michael Kravitz. And the Moose now at center. Young had it tipped away by Hackborn. Tippett turns at center. Here's Jakes now. Jakes will bank it off the glass. Batted by Young. Tippett comes up with it. Tippett for Valamont. A pass for Hackborn. Looking for the empty net. Can't do it. Valamont will turn. Wait. Wrist hit. Kind of panned on it. And with 15 seconds left, the Aeros are back, but the Moose bring the puck in. Larry Olin, Deshaun Williams. That is offsides. And play is is whistled down. So we've got 11 seconds to play here in this hockey game. It's a 4-2 hockey game. The Aeros lead it. And they're going to pick up the win. And for the Houston Aeros, they would now have second place to themselves. And a nice team effort tonight for the Aeros. Here's Hackborn, Tippett, and Chitaroni. Face-off at center. Draper back in the net with a face-off at center ice. And the sticks down, drop of the puck. Aeros win the draw. Here is Carl Valamon now. And it's finally picked up by Jakes and shot at center ice. 3 seconds left. Young turns. Buzzer sound, and the Houston Aeros have made it 2 in a row with a nice 4-2 win. I want to add a side note here. Graham Townsend, back on December 26th, was the last Aero, or the only Aero, to get a game-winning goal until back on Saturday, December 3rd, when Dave Tippett got one. This is the first time, only the second time actually, since December 3rd that the Aeros have gotten an individual with a game-winning goal. The Aeros, that means they've won a lot of games in a shootout, which are team game-winning goals. So the Aeros, Mark Freer gets the game winner. He is the first since December 26th, only the second since December 3rd to get an actual game-winning goal for the Houston Aeros. So a 4-2 lead in favor of Houston, and we'll have more from the Summit after this. But again, a lot of credit goes to the Minnesota Moose as they battled back to make it 2-2, and then the Aeros get 2 here in the third and win it by a score of 4-2. One guy that's been an integral part of this team tonight, Mario Chitaroni. He's come on as of late, and he is standing by with Russ Small. Russ?
Adam, thank you very much. Mario, good game for the Aeros tonight in a 4-2 win. Deserved, fought for, well-earned, good 2 points.
Well, it was definitely hard fought for. I mean, we had a 2-goal lead. They came back, tied it up 2-2, and we returned back to our form from the first period to get 2 goals in the third period to win. But we needed this win, so I'm glad we got the 2 points.
We talked at the top of the show about the style of Aeros play and what's been happening this year, and that if you get Minnesota down, put them away. Don't let them get back into the game. And I know you guys were thinking that too, but what were you thinking when they crept back in at a 2-2?
Well, we tried to come out the first period and get on their defense right away. We knew if we kept the puck low that their defense would struggle a little bit, and we'd create some offense, which we've been struggling of late. But unfortunately, the second period, they seemed to get the puck out more. They tried to carry the puck in over the blue line, and they created offense because we kept losing the puck there. And we went on to the third period. We had a little talk and decided no matter what happens, the first 5 minutes of the period, we're going to get the puck deep and go from there.
Now, the Aeros lost Kevin Dineen this week, goes back to Philadelphia, and you start out this game on his line and his spot with Tippett and Hackborn. You also finish up the game in the same way, but not all night long. You moved around a little bit.
Well, that seems to be the way I always end up playing. Start at right wing, end up center, end up left wing. I just put down on the paper I'm a forward now, but I mean, it was big shoes to step in on, but we knew we were a good team before Kevin got here, and we knew that somebody was going to have to step up and take his spot and show some leadership, and I think our whole team did that tonight.
Now, we're talking to a guy here after the Aeros have scored 4 goals who was not one of the goal scorers. So I want you to know the reason he's here is not because he did anything that's going to show up on the stat sheet necessarily, but because we thought you played a terrific game, skating all over the ice. You had a couple of great chances on Draper, too. Some that you intentionally put in a particular spot, some that you just made great deflections on. You were just a real fire plug, a real spark plug out there.
Well, that's the way I have to play to play. I mean, if I'm not skating and working hard, I end up not playing or sitting on the bench or sitting in the stands. And about 6 games ago, I kind of learned my lesson when I sat 2 games out. And since then, I've really started to pick it up, and I feel a little more comfortable on the ice. So, that's my style of game, and I'm just happy that when I play that way, that things go well for the team.
You talk about guys who skated very well and played well tonight, but don't show up on the stat sheet. Early in the game, we talked about Graham Townsend, who I thought was all over the ice tonight, and I said, I wish I had a quarter for every great chance he had tonight. Well, the game's over, and I think I got $2.50 off Graham Townsend, but he just couldn't buy a goal, but boy, he was all over the ice doing some great work.
Well, that's what we need. Graham knows his job, and he knows that when he's out there hitting and forechecking and working hard and intimidating the other team, that he's going to get opportunities to score because he's playing with two great players, and that's what's been happening. In Milwaukee, the first shift, he went out there, a big bang, they turned the puck over to Scotty O'Neill in the slot, and he scored.
He does their part, and it was a good 4-2 win for the Aeros tonight. So have a good road trip, and then get a little break during the All-Star game.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully the next two games we can keep this two-game winning streak.